Welcome to Paranormal Central, broadcasting live from Central California with your hosts Jeffrey Gonzalez and Alan Thomas. Broadcasting video worldwide at paranormalcentral.net and broadcasting audio on the Dark Matter Network at artbell.com. Are you ready to witness something that you cannot explain?
I'm looking for you. You're looking for me. We have to decide what it will be. Can it be true? Can I believe the unexplained? Look into the sky. You realize you're not alone. Open your eyes. You can find trails that control.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Paranormal Central, broadcasting live from the bottom left-hand corner of the Nevada Triangle. Good evening, wherever you may be. Thank you for showing up. My name is Jeffrey Gonzalez. I am the host for this show. To my right, to your left, somebody that we're sure glad to see, Alan Thomas, co-host.
Hi all, how you doing? I'm really here.
Yeah, watch.
Yeah. Ow!
That's real. It's not memorized. Back corner, Emerald Bonilla.
Hi, everybody.
Thank you for showing
Hey,
up. We are alive and sort of kind of alive, I guess. We've been down for the past week. One of us more than a week, I guess. And we're glad we are back. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But again, my name is Jeffrey Gonzalez. I am the host for Paranormal Central, also the founder of a group called the Sanger Paranormal Society. We are just not talk show hosts here. We are also investigators. So we are out there trying to get the real stuff for you. And that's one of the reasons why we put this show together, is because we were just getting so much great evidence that we had to show you guys literally and physically. And now we have a show here that I think is one of a kind. Our team, we investigate everything paranormal, from Bigfoot to UFOs to spirits. We talk about conspiracy theories. So we're all over the place. And I hope you enjoy what we have to offer you here, because it's only going to get better. And we're having a blast doing it. So thank you for showing up wherever you may be. If you are watching us on live stream right now, then you are looking at us. If not, we are also being broadcasted on the Dark Matter Network at artbell.com. Yes, artbell.com is taking our audios on the Skype and sending it out worldwide on the Dark Matter Network. So, if you're there, thank you very much. We will be showing you some pictures and eventually here pretty soon with the Squatch report from Danny. And if you are at the artbell.com listening to us there, you can always go to the website and the homepage, look for Paranormal Central, Squatch Report, Danny Valderrama, Bigfoot, and you can look at the pictures as we talk about them here as well. At halfway through the show, we'll have Heidi Hollis on, and we'll be talking about her stuff, which is ghosts and UFOs and all that good stuff. So she also has photos that we're going to be showing you here, and they are also on the artbell.com website as well. So right now, what we do before, actually at the beginning of every show, we have the Squatch Report with Danny Valderrama. Mister, are you there? Over.
I'm here, over. How's the nursery? I mean, the infirmary. Everybody have their meds?
Yeah, actually, I have my cough drops here. I have my Toms over here. I have my lemons here. I have my soft drink here, and I think I'm set.
Just
I popped all mine.
You already popped all his, yeah. So if we start zoning off here pretty soon and just go like this, it's because the meds have taken effect. So, all right, Mr. Danny Valderrama, who's on vacation again, and I'd just like to say, you suck. Where are you at now?
Home.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool.
I'm planning all the rest of my vacations.
Are you? Whatever.
Tour the world.
Yeah, whatever. Okay.
You pretty much have, haven't you? The United
Getting there.
States. Yeah.
Jeez
I'm
Louise.
going to color off some more states this year.
Right, man.
So-
the best one I liked so far was the one in Chicago. Like, I don't know how you did it, but you stepped out on that glass that hangs out the
that was
side of the
weird.
building. Oh, man. They would not be able to get me out there.
No way, Jose.
Yeah.
No. All right, let's go ahead and go with the Squatch report for today, whatever date that is, the 15th, I believe.
15.
The 15th. All right, let's go with picture number 1. And again, we're going to be showing you pictures right now on the screen at livestream.com. If you're listening at artbell.com, go to the website right now and go to the homepage and look for, I forgot, how does Keith have it on there? Just Bigfoot report, I guess.
I think it said Squatch report.
Squatch report for the 15th of today. And here we go.
Paranormal Central Bigfoot report.
There you go. Thank you, Emerald.
Thank you, Keith.
All right, got the first picture up. You're good to go.
All right, this is from the North American Wood Ape Conservancy. Oh, I can't even speak today. It's from Grover Krantz, because when he died, I didn't know what had happened to him or where he was buried or anything, but now I know. So if I didn't know, there was other people out there who probably didn't know. But Grover Krantz was a professor of physical anthropology at Washington State University. He was a teacher, a loving pet owner, an eccentric anthropologist, and the first serious Bigfoot academic. He not only researched Bigfoot, but he believed in its existence, and he was the first one. He was Dr. Meldrum before there was Dr. Meldrum. So he put his reputation on the line to say that it was real. And when he died on Valentine's Day in 2002 of pancreatic cancer, he had made an agreement with David Hunt from Smithsonian. And he told him he's been a teacher all of his life. And so he might as well be a teacher after he dies. So he wants to donate his body to science. But with one catch, that his dogs go with him. And I think he had like 3 or 4 dogs. But his favorite one was named Clyde, who was an Irish wolfhound. So after Grover Krantz died, there was no funeral. His body was shipped to the University of Tennessee to the body farm. And there they study human decay rates to aid in forensic investigations. So if they find a body out there, they know by their decaying bodies how long the body's been out there. So after his body completely decayed, they sent him to the Smithsonian with all of his dogs. And he was in the green cabinet in the basement of the Smithsonian the Smithsonian Natural History Museum for a while, until 2009, when they decided to include his body with one of his dogs in an exhibit called Written in Bone. And that's the picture that you see there. It's a skeleton of Grover Krantz along with his favorite dog, Clyde. And you can see the before and after.
Aww.
And Clyde had died many years before, and so Grover saved his bones along with all the other dogs so they could all be together again. And he's authored more than 60 academic articles, 10 books on human evolution. He's even conducted field research in Europe, China, and Java. And he was the first person to argue strongly in support of the need to collect a Sasquatch-type specimen. So he was in favor of taking a specimen to prove that they existed and to save them.
Cool.
So
All right.
I think the second picture is a picture of kids at the museum checking them out too. But we were at the museum that year, and I didn't know he was there, or I could have seen him. We happened to be in D.C. in 2009. Had I known that he was there, I would have looked for him.
Right. and taking a bunch of pictures too. 'Cause you're Mr. Photographer. Cool.
That would have been weird. But now we know what happened to him. I was wondering what happened to him, where he was buried or anything, but that was pretty weird.
Cool beans. Okay, number 3.
All right, this is a picture from Michael Brookerson, and he's from San Antonio, Texas. He posted this on the Rocky Mountain Sasquatch Hangout, and these are game camera photos. And he has game cameras in the Ozark Mountains, and what he does is he has another group out there that goes to the sites that he has the game cameras, and they retrieve the cards for him, and they send him the pictures, so he doesn't have to go back and forth from Texas to wherever these are in the Ozark Mountains.
How did the who replaces the batteries? So that obviously costs money.
There's a whole other group out there that I guess they're working with him.
Oh, okay.
Maybe they're sharing information. But this first picture has a picture of 2 deer feeding at the station, at a deer feeding station that they have set up. And in the foreground and in the background, you can see a pair of eyes staring at them.
Ooh.
Looks pretty weird.
Yep.
They're not really high off the ground, though.
Yeah, it doesn't say how high off the ground his camera is, so you don't really know how high off those eyes are staring back there.
Right.
They look about maybe might be a deer, like back there, you know.
Like a buck, maybe.
Yeah.
And the second picture has the eyes like turning, preparing to turn away with only one deer in the picture. Whatever it is just at a camera site.
Mm-hmm.
And I did ask him for another picture to show what the area looked like in daytime, because some people were saying it was an owl because of the big eyes that are there. But they wanted to see if there was a branch there, maybe that it was sitting on.
Check this. Is that what you're talking about right there? That I'm circling?
No.
I see a face there.
No.
Up higher.
I know, but
Yeah.
that looks like I know that right there is what you guys are talking
Right.
about.
That's grass.
But I see.
If you look at the pictures, though, you can kind of see like a doorway or windows or something. So I think these pictures may have been taken off of a computer screen with a camera and then sent to
That
him.
changes everything.
So yeah, there's
Yeah.
a lot of resolution lost. These aren't the original photos, so you can't really make a judgment on them.
Okay.
I asked him if he had originals or if these were actually taken off a camera like they look like they are,
You
or
see,
taken off a screen.
you see how the buck's eye is so big, right there, glowing.
Right.
Even in the, like when we go out, and you know we use the spotlight.
Mhm.
You know, from far away, even little animals have huge looking eyes. You know, when you're shining a light, and
Right.
that right there's the flash. So, you know, you can just imagine how big that eye is on that buck right there, and then just move it a few feet out, and it could still be a deer because it almost looks like the same level. You know what I mean, like head level. I don't know the grade of the earth, or if it's inclined or declined, but it doesn't look like it's. I would expect something to be way up, like towards the top of the picture, and even bigger
deer's
eyes.
A deer's eyes would need to look straight at you in order to shine like that, and I think the deer's eyes are on each side of their head.
Right.
So, but I did ask for more pictures, and I did ask him if he took these. The pictures came from a computer screen because of you can see an outline of a doorway or a window up there, plus the bottom. When you take a picture off a screen, you get all those lines on it. But he hadn't answered.
Okay.
But he put them up to get everybody's opinion. And there's the next picture. He says there is activity in this area. That's why the cameras are up. And you can see on the next picture that there is a deer that has
Big old gash.
big gash, like something attacked it.
Oh,
not-
and their camera took that.
Yeah, his
Wow.
camera took that one too.
Yeah, would a Bigfoot
I
like?
think they said something about an area there where there's a bunch of bones or something was attacked.
I don't
There
think
might be some dead ones in that area
I don't think
too.
a Bigfoot would have let that go.
No, no. He would have like broke its neck, or ripped its leg off.
Right.
Like if he wants to keep it fresh, he'll rip the leg off, so it can't run away, and then go hunt for more. But if he's gonna take it right then, he'll just break the neck, and then they'll carry it away.
Yeah. The other picture I sent you, I don't know if you got it.
Yeah.
Was of somebody wearing night vision goggles.
Yes. Let me.
And if you take a picture of them at night, you obviously can't see the light coming out of there. But if you take a picture It has the same kind of light that's in the background. So I don't know if it maybe somebody that came up on them and then saw the flash and stayed back. It could be a lot of possibilities, but you can't really tell on these because of the quality of the picture.
Right.
Yeah,
Cool.
because you should be able to like play with the, the lighting, or what do they call it? I'm not good at that stuff, but you could.
The resolution and all that.
Yeah, and you can brighten up the picture and look into it farther.
If you had the original, you could, but this has a lot of glare on it.
Right. Cool. Okay. Next one is a painting, right? Mural.
Yep. A mural. Yep.
Okay. Go for it.
This mural is from the name on it says F. Adami, and I took the family out to Dinuba yesterday, and I sat in the car waiting for them, and this was at J Street and Tulare Street, right in downtown Dinuba. And while they were there, I was sitting there looking at the mural, and I saw it recognized on the upper right-hand side. You can see Yosemite, and on the lower left-hand side, you can see a lake, and there's deer near the lake there. And then right dead center of the painting, of the mural, you can see what looks like a Bigfoot sitting there right next to the lake, this little creek there. So when they got back to the car, I said, "Hang on, we got a situation." They jumped out of the car.
Emergency, Will
Jumped out of
Robinson.
the car, and they're all looking at me, and then I started taking pictures of the mural. And when I zoomed in and took the second picture, and you can see whatever it is sitting there right there. And
So you're talking about this thing walking up the stairs or the rocks?
yeah. It doesn't have a hat, so it's not like a cowboy or anything. It doesn't have clothes on.
Right.
It doesn't have any equipment with it,
Right.
like a backpacker would or something. And so I wonder if it is a Bigfoot. It's the only person in the whole painting.
Right.
There's an eagle at the top, and there's a deer in there, but that's kind of weird. I don't know. It didn't say what year it was painted. It just had a name at the bottom corner. But I wonder if it is a Bigfoot.
Interesting.
Right here in Dinuba.
In Dinuba. And if those who don't know where Dinuba is, it's right next to Parlier.
It's out there where we get Bigfoot reports in the oranges.
I think that's it, right?
Yep. There's two pictures of that. So that was pretty weird. I've seen it many times, but I've never actually taken a look at it.
Right.
Until I was sitting right in front of it, and I was like, wait a minute.
What the heck is that? Oh my God!
He's everywhere.
Yeah, he's everywhere. You know what? We're gonna have to get the mayor of Sanger to somebody to draw a mural in Sanger. Something that has to do with Bigfoot and Sanger Paranormal Society. You know what? That's a dang good idea, Jeff. All right. Mayor, are you listening? Mayor, are you listening? Okay. All right. What else, Danny?
That'd be it.
All right. So you are going. Will you be here next week?
No.
Or
Be in the Bay Area.
You'll be in the where? San Jose.
The Bay Area. Yeah.
San Jose. Okay.
Near
Why?
Petaluma.
Why?
I've taken my daughter. She's going to military school.
Ah.
To go to the next level up. She got to get training.
Ah. Okay.
Cool.
Roger Dodger.
Right on. Congratulations.
Yeah.
So okay.
Pay raise.
Yep.
So okay, right on. All right, Danny. Thank you, and keep up
sir.
the good work, and keep posting on Paranormal Central like page for everybody. That's what Danny's job title. Well, that's part of his job, and he's doing a good job at it. So keep on doing, man.
Elizabeth and I are working our butts off.
That's right. Dang it. So all right, Danny. Thanks, man.
All right,
Bye,
sickos,
Danny.
get better.
All right. Yeah, we
Bye.
will. Sickos. Yeah, sickos. Let's talk about sickos, by the way. So, for all those who have been watching us for the past couple of weeks who are new, Alan Thomas was out. Tell everybody what happened, dude.
Man, I was really out, like almost out for the count. Like I don't know if everybody knows, but I'm disabled, and been disabled since 2000, where the doctors made a mistake.
2000?
Yeah.
Is that when it happened?
Yeah, it
Thought it
happened
was
in 2000. I didn't stop working until 2001. Actually, they forced me to quit because I couldn't keep up. and I couldn't walk. So, you know,
Right.
but I had I have like a big surgery scar that runs from my stomach down my thigh, so it goes in the crease of your leg, and it's always in pain 24/7. And little did I know, but there was an abscess growing in there, but only I didn't feel it because I already have a tremendous amount of pain in that leg and area in the scar, because it feels like it never ever healed, right? So I never noticed that this abscess was growing, and then one day it was, like, felt different. There was no pain still, not above what the pain I have usually. And I looked down, and I had this huge blood blister and big giant thing running down this big scar, and I thought it was the artery, because that's what they had blocked the artery in the leg, and for about 8 days. So that's actually what caused my original problem. No blood oxygen to your leg or anything for minutes, and then you times that by days, and things are dying, right? Well, and then they had to go get that, and that's where the scar came from. But then I thought that the artery was ballooning, and that was what that was, the swelling and everything. Went to the ER, but it was actually an infection, but only it was right on top of the artery, and caused all kinds of complications. Then all kinds of problems, and like a mini little surgery, and put me out. Like couldn't walk, couldn't sit
For like, what were you, 2 weeks or 3 weeks?
About 3 weeks.
About 3, right?
Yeah. And it's still not better, but I mean, it's not all the way healed, but only it's healed enough where I can come in and do things now.
Right.
And I'm even happy to do that, because there for about a week it looked like that it could be either way, on what was going to happen. They were talking more surgery, and
Right.
so I'm way happy. No surgeries.
I'm alive.
Yeah.
So, right on. So, okay, well, glad to have you back.
Yeah.
And I'm sure
great.
everybody is happy as well. So, okay, let's continue on.
I noticed, like, last week I was actually sitting, in the chair watching the show with everyone and chatting, and then Jeff was, man, he was bad, oh my God, he was sick.
I come on here, and I know my wife's going to get pissed at me, but I don't care. And I always say, I don't get sick. I don't get sick. I never get sick. And I don't, guys. I don't, all right? And if I do get sick, it's like a one-day deal. I mean, I'll get a cold, and in one day it's literally done. Or if I get, like, a fever, it's like one day, and I'm done. And I'm literally back at work, okay? I've always heard the saying, I felt like a Mack truck hit me. I was on the couch out. I had a high fever, 104. You guys saw me on
high.
Sunday. Yeah, it was high, but my body ached. I couldn't move. I was coughing. It's like, really? Where did this come from? And it scared the crap out of me, because I have never been this sick before, ever, as I can remember. So I don't know where that came from. And then Alan was telling me, because he was going back and forth back to the ER for treatments and stuff, and he says what the hospital was just crammed.
Yeah, man, there were so many people coughing and stuff. I asked the guy, one of the nurse guys, should I be putting one of those masks on? Because there was people with masks that were coughing, but only I guess they don't like the mask,
Right.
So they're like pulling it down and letting it
coughing.
right here, and then they were coughing and stuff like all around me.
And then you were saying that all the nurses and the doctors had masks on.
Yeah, everybody else was wearing masks. I'm like, man, I should have a mask. And the doctor told me, nah, man, you're on like 3 different antibiotics, really high doses. Anything touches you, it's gonna die. So I was good, because maybe your wife might want to wear a mask, because everybody was wearing them, and they had people in the hallways. I mean, there was people everywhere, and they were all sick like that.
And that's when people get colds and fevers, and they all of a sudden think, oh my God, I gotta go to the doctor, gotta go to the ER. That's one of the worst places you can be.
No kidding.
You
Oh
know,
my
you don't
God.
want to go, especially take an infant, a child. You know, if your child gets a fever of 104, 105, then okay, then it's time to take him to the ER. But if he has 101, 102, you know, you cool him down. Maybe take some medicine. If it gets up to about 102, 103, then give him some medicine. But otherwise, let the child or you fight off the infection. All right, at home. Stay home. Don't go to the hospital. Don't go to the doctor because you're going to get something worse there. All right.
Well, you could probably go to your regular doctor.
But you know what he's going to do? He's going to say, go home, get a lot of rest, drink some chicken noodle soup, and maybe take some Tylenol or whatever if it gets higher than 102. That's all he's going to say, guys.
Drink a lot of liquids.
Yes, and that's all he's going to say. Okay? And here comes the helicopters circling Paranormal Central.
They're going to spray some more of that stuff on something.
No kidding. So.
Get everybody sick again. No, I'm
Go-
just kidding.
A low helicopter. So,
Don't be afraid to breathe the air. No.
So, okay. Let's continue on. March the 7th and the 8th, which is literally right around the corner. We're talking about 2 or 3 weeks away.
Yeah,
We have
far.
been invited to attend the Tulare Sci-Fi Con in Tulare, California on that weekend. We are going to have a booth there, and we're basically going to be promoting ourselves. And because a lot of people don't know who we are yet, and the whole intent is to get out there and push our name, so that way, they are really circling us now. That way, if people
Everybody
have
hold your breath.
questions, questions, and you never know. So we're going to be out there on that weekend, March the 7th and 8th. They have a website, Tulare Sci-Fi Con. Tulare, and I think it's Sci-Fi Con. Just Google it, and you'll see my ugly mug with the people who are going to attend. They're going to have celebrities there from longtime B movies and stuff like that. Should be a fun time. We'll be there both days. Sunday, we were going to have to cut it a little short so we can get back here and do the show. But otherwise, I think what we're going to do is I am going to take a cameraman from the production company, and we're going to shoot in there for an episode for TV, and we'll probably end up doing some interviews with some of the celebrities there, and get them on the air and have some fun. Man,
Yeah.
it's like
We need our mask on, man. Really.
no,
Yeah.
there's something going on here, so I don't know. So, all right. So if anybody wants to go to Tulare, who lives in the valley of Central San Joaquin Valley. Tulare is about an hour south of Fresno, right off the
Isn't it
99
gonna
freeway.
be right where the ag show is?
Right where
And
the
they're-
ag show
They're
is
having that right. Or they had that
They
this
just had
weekend.
it. Yeah. So it's going to be in the same location as the ag show, and that happens to be the world's largest ag show in the world.
Yeah.
And that's where this facility is going to hold the Tulare Sci-Fi Con, and it's probably just going to be in one of the buildings there, and that's what it's going to, where it's going to be. So we are going to be there if anybody wants to show, but it's not that expensive, you guys. They're going to have vendors, they're going to have booths, obviously, cosplayers and all that. So we'll have a booth there, and we'll have the banner up, and we'll take some of the props, and if you have any questions, want to come down and say hi, we'll be there. All right. So just to let you know, on March the 7th and 8th, which is, like I said, in 3 weeks. So we'll be there. So all right. Okay. Let's continue on with last Wednesday. I was sick. I was home. Man, you guys hear that?
If it lands, I'm running.
Literally, they are circling
Hobbling.
our block. You want to walk out there and see what kind of a helicopter it is? If it's black, let me know so I can go out there and flip them off.
I don't know if I'll be able to see it.
Yeah, you will. I mean, this sucker is circling literally the Paranormal Central studios
Man,
right now.
man, I got a post on my Facebook wall about. I think it's like February 21st. They're having a contact day,
Uh-oh.
right? Did you see that? Here he comes, man.
God, I hope you guys can hear that.
They're crop dusting.
No. Go out there, Emerald.
It's white and blue.
White and blue?
Now, is he circling literally
Yeah,
which?
they're
Circling what?
a little over there.
Like at the golf course?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, do me a favor. Walk out there to the end of the brick. Look over and see if the cops or anybody are down on the tracks there. See if they're trying to run down somebody. Yeah, go over there. Man, literally, they're right on top of us, guys, which is kind of funny. So, you know what? Baltazar called me, and he wants to do something like that.
Really do the contact.
Yeah.
The ETs.
Yeah, but
you know, I was reading that, you know, and they're all happy, and they're saying, hey, you know, these aliens are coming to save our planet and all this stuff. How do they know? I mean, do they believe them? Like, if something contacts you and says, we're here to save your planet and give you all this good news, you really trust it?
Right.
I mean, we don't even know these things, right? I mean, our government, I don't trust them, and they say they're all about helping us, right?
Right.
I'm gonna get up there with their smiley face. You know, you'll love your health care.
Seems like
I mean, why would these people so easily trust something from out of somewhere,
another world?
You know, just because they said they're nice.
It reminds me of the Twilight Zone episode. It's a cookbook where the aliens are actually asking everybody to go with them, and it's actually they're gonna eat them.
Like Independence Day, where everybody's like getting up on the top of the building.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know, like,
and they hold the sign.
Hey. Yeah, and everybody, she's like, "You're crazy! Don't go over there." She goes, "I won't." And then you know, next thing she's the first one blasted out of the freaking universe.
Yep. Yeah. So So anyways,
you like the creaking door?
Yeah, it's cool. Huh?
One day I'll have to turn the camera on the creaking door so they can see this secret entrance.
Well, no, they'll see it on TV.
Oh, that's right.
They'll see it on TV. So.
Oh yeah.
All right. That. So tomorrow we actually have a meeting with the Fox Network here in Fresno. We're going to let's just say one episode has been shot and fully edited and ready to go. But this episode is not going to be the first episode. What?
Are we off the air? Did the helicopter knock us off? It says we're off the air.
Come on. I didn't do anything.
I know you didn't. Now, we have like this really racehorse computer. It should not go off.
And it said perfect streaming all this time. Are we off?
Yeah. We are off. And it is saying perfect streaming. That helicopter jammed us, man.
You know what? That's not right. I don't want to.
Can I even?
Hold it, refresh. Because I don't want to turn that off, and then all of a sudden we're not on, or we are on.
Yeah, but only I'm still on chat though.
See, that's why I'm. Let me go to mine. Hold on.
Wait, let me try reloading. Maybe it's this. I don't know.
Danny, send me a text via. Via.
They can see us on live stream.
They can?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what the chat's saying.
All right.
It's saying it's ended.
It does say that, huh?
Yeah.
But you're saying that to check and assist, right? Okay. No, we're fine.
It is saying perfect streaming.
That's
that
weird.
helicopter jammed. Us, man. You know what? That's not right.
Hold on.
Oh, yeah, we're good now. That was weird.
That's weird.
Okay, how do I turn this off?
You just turned it off.
Okay, there you go. All right, no, we're good. See, that's why I'm glad I didn't turn that off. Whatever. So, okay. All right, let's continue.
It's weird hearing
okay,
yourself,
like I said, tomorrow we have a meeting with the general manager at the Fox Studios here in Fresno. We're going to show him the episode and get his input. Hopefully, we are going to blow him away. That is our intent. And you know, for those people who are in the business, who are in Hollywood, you know, we're still looking for a home. All right, and what I mean by that is, you know, the Fox people here in Fresno, California have been monitoring our progress for a number of years now, and they see what's going on with us. They see our progress, and they know what I'm doing. They know that we shot some episodes. They've saw the first couple of pilots that we did. They actually aired them. You know, no contracts have been signed with anybody yet. We're waiting for somebody to come knocking on the door and say, wait a minute, you know, why don't you come over here instead of the Fox? Or if the Fox wants to offer us a killer deal, by all means. But the Fox here in Fresno, who's part of Sinclair Broadcasting, said that, you know, if we bring them 8 episodes, they will air them. and we're going to do that. Our first episode hasn't aired yet. Probably going to air, I'm thinking, right around the first or second week of March. And they're not charging us, which is kind of like blowing us away. So they're technically getting a top-notch produced show for free from us. And I think that once it airs on the Fox network here in Fresno, I think they're going to also input it on the availability system through Sinclair nationally. So any of their affiliates across America sees it and says, holy mackerel, this is awesome, we'll air it in our network, they will be able to.
See what like the people that are listening to us on the internet, they can actually help that. Like in their area, they can get their family and friends to contact their Fox network locally in their place and alert them and tell them, hey, we want to see this.
Right.
It's not going to guarantee they'll put it up.
Right.
But only they might like pull it up and look at it and see if they want to air it.
Right.
And possibly air it if they get enough people saying, we want to see this.
Right.
And that would be really good. I mean, that's not normally how things go national, but it could go national like that.
Right. So tomorrow we're gonna have again a meeting, and just that way to find out what time slot they're gonna give us, and hopefully it's gonna be a good one. And we can't really complain where they put us because they're not gonna be charging us for an hour show on television. Especially on the Fox network, So wherever they put us at the time, whatever, we're going to take it. It's just the way it is.
Somebody brought something up on the chat that's interesting, like,
Okay.
Talking about going on TV.
Yeah.
All the dudes dying.
Oh, no, oh, shit. Oh, excuse me. No, I'm going to talk about the journalists.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that.
Maybe we don't want to.
No.
Because we're going to touch on subjects that probably got them guys
Killed, yeah.
Diced.
So that's what's happening with us tomorrow. So since somebody mentioned that in chat, let's go ahead and transition to there. There has been a number of journalists dying within the past week. I believe 4 of them. Let me go ahead and put up a picture here real quick. Let me find it. Screen. Boom. All right. 4 journalists, and all of them are dying in car accidents. We have Ned Colt of NBC, which is the top left hand. I've seen him many times on TV. Bob Simmons of CBS, the bottom left hand corner. I have seen him many of times as well. David Carr of New York Times, bottom right. I've seen his picture around. And then you also have Bob Hager of NBC, top right hand. He was involved in a car accident, but he was not killed. He actually survived.
It was a head-on car
It was a head-on crash, yeah.
Man.
So these are 4 very big people in the industry. All right. Now, from what I understand, I think these 2 here on the left went to Iraq, did some interviews with somebody. Let me go ahead and post that up here real quick. I believe it's right here. She dropped lead. Ned Colt of NBC dropped dead of a stroke yesterday, and I don't know when this came out, so yesterday wasn't the day, but he was supposedly kidnapped during the Iraq War for several days. Now, this all started happening after the Brian Williams fiasco occurred. All right, what if, do you trust the media? After Brian Williams said what he said didn't occur, what other things did he actually, report in the past that weren't true?
See, my wife she doesn't look at conspiracy theories she's not into this at all, right?
Okay.
She doesn't even listen to the show.
What? Our show?
Yeah, every once in a while, but she's really not into it at all.
Freaking rude.
Yeah. But only I'll talk with her on things because she's not in that you get a different perspective, right? And the Brian Williams things was all over the news, okay? And she doesn't like what the government's doing at all. You know, like she's Indian, and she doesn't trust the government or the news people for a long time. Okay. She said maybe the good guys, they're trying to get to the government, but only these are the first guys that they can get to. You know what I mean? Like they're the first ones. They can't get right to the ones they want, but they're getting the mouthpiece. Their mouthpiece, the ones that they use to spread the bull, right? And she says maybe the good guys, that's the first ones they could take out and go after, and it's like a threat to the government,
to the rest of the guys.
Yeah, look at what we're doing. You know, we got these guys. You know, we're coming after you, right? I mean, that's her perspective.
I see what she's saying.
I mean, it was interesting. It was like, wow, hey, wow. You know, how much did you think about that? Or how long did you think about that?
Right. No, you know what? That's a good point. That or these four were, investigating.
Or they were going to say
they were investigating something.
They're going to come out with truth.
That were going to come out with some cool information that would have put Brian Williams to shame, maybe something on Obama. Because usually when reporters or journalists die, it's something that they're going to spill mostly on the president. I can tell you that right now, because I remember certain people dying under Clinton, and actually a couple more on Breitbart. You guys remember Breitbart under Obama? You know, supposedly he had some real nasty stuff on Obama, and all of a sudden Breitbart walked out of a club, fell in on the sidewalk, and was dead. Just like that. All right.
Just like that one guy.
Which guy?
That died, just came back from Iraq or something like that, and then dropped dead.
Yeah. And who knows? People say that we have instruments that somebody can have in their vehicle, parked across the street, aim it right at you hard, pull the trigger, boom, you're dead. You fall down, you die of a heart attack. Just like that.
That's absolutely true.
Okay.
We do have that.
We have all kinds of stuff that could assassinate somebody without using a gun. And it could be a natural, it could look like natural causes,
it's microwave technology.
Yeah, there you go.
Nowadays, microwave stuff. I was watching a video last night about back in 1970 something. A beam came down on an island off of Canada, and it blew up all the electrical everything. And the people saw it come in. It was almost like a comet or something like that. And they thought it was going to hit the ocean, but it actually hit the island. And then they come to find out that it was before everybody knew what EMPs were and stuff like that. It was when certain reporters that aren't alive now, they're dead, reported on this, and it was actual EMP, the first kind of warfare like that. And they wanted to find out what was the next level of warfare coming, and then that led them to that incident on that island. But they were finding that this all came from infrared technology, like your remote control, your microwave oven, and stuff like that, like frequencies. And that's how now today we know smart bombs and all that stuff. That was like the beginning of the smart bombs. It was in 78. Easily now they should be able to sit down the street and shoot you with some kind of frequency, and they could stop your heart like that.
Yep.
And probably do it all the time. And people, they don't even have to say suicide. They just, that guy died. His heart
natural
stopped.
causes. Yeah. There are, and you can go Google. There has been a lot of scientists dying, in the past decade, and I mean a lot of scientists, NASA, especially NASA, or astronomers, just dying off left and right, as if they know something. It's just really not. I don't want to say coincidence. It's just really weird that a lot of these NASA people, lots of scientists, now journalists are just dying left and right. 4 like this within the past, what was it, a week? Not even a week, actually.
Yeah, a few days.
A few days, okay? That is not a coincidence. There's somebody taking these guys out, and there's got to be a reason for it. The reason, I don't know. So keep your ears and eyes open, all right? Because I think it's going to get even weirder within the next probably 4 or 5 months. I really do. The Pope is actually coming down on September the 25th of this year, I think, to talk to Congress. That's going to be the first time that has ever happened. Why is he coming down here to talk to Congress? I don't know. I guess we shall find out, huh? So that's going to be interesting. Can't wait for September to come around.
There's a bunch of stuff going on like that, like Netanyahu Putin saying he's going to come out with satellite images of 9/11, and he's going to spill the beans on 9/11, and then like 4 days later, I see Putin again in the news.
I don't know how that true that is though.
Yeah, and he says he's going to blow the whistle on UFOs and disclose.
Yeah. I wish.
That me too.
So, okay, let's go.
You think that would start a war?
About a war?
Yeah, if he did that, you think we would like nuke him?
I don't
No,
know.
we need to handle ISIS before we even think about Russia. Russia's not even. I think they're more on our side than they are with
You would think.
ISIS. Yeah, I strongly believe that we need to get rid of them.
I think everybody's against ISIS,
It's
even
to the
Muslims.
point where it's crazy right now. Just
Yeah.
everything that's going on, and what I don't understand, and maybe I'm too getting into politics. Why the heck we're not doing anything?
I don't know.
That's a good quote. But that, my wife says the same thing, and she's not like into all this stuff, and she's saying, "How come we're not over there taking care of business?"
Because my thing was the first. A lot of people are like, oh well, the first war, the first reason we went over there was complete BS.
Yeah.
Well, now
Oil.
Now we have a reason to go over there, and we're not. I mean, that's kind of like. I mean, I would go fight if we were called to fight.
Well,
I'd go.
A female American just got killed.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was
That's what got
captured.
my wife going.
Okay. And the one before that was a pilot
From
shot
Jordan.
from Saudi Arabia, right?
Jordan.
Or the Jordan? Okay.
And then now they just beheaded 21 Egyptian Catholics. I think that's what they called them.
Really?
Yeah. They were today. I don't know if it was today or a couple days before.
They shot them all on their knees, and
Yeah.
I didn't know what were their nationalities
Egyptian.
or Egyptians, and they're
Yeah.
Catholics. Okay.
So.
Yeah.
This crazy stuff.
It's a lot, and it's just like, dang.
And then Obama at the national prayer meeting. I don't know if you guys remember hearing about this 2 weeks ago. I don't think many people heard about it, but he said that the Christians did the same thing back in the days.
Oh yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
When they went and killed all of the people because of just
The land.
yeah, he just I don't know if that was right for him to say that.
No.
That kind of sounds like he's justifying it.
Yeah, just like what, the Catholics did it, so let these guys do it too.
No.
Yeah, but see,
You know?
people down through history have done everything in the name of God. I
Right.
mean, who knows what God? I mean, ISIS is doing what they're doing in the name of God.
Right.
Their God, and they
Right.
say that's the only God too.
Right.
This is
Right.
why I'm atheist.
But I mean, it doesn't justify anything. I
No.
mean, that doesn't make it right that they did that. It doesn't make it right the Catholics did that,
Right.
or the Spaniards did that, or the Romans did that. I mean, all down through history, they've been doing it in the name of God.
Right.
If there is a God, I don't think he would have him killing everyone.
Right.
I really don't.
Right.
Doesn't make sense.
Just for him to
If he
come out and say
created
that was
you,
kinda
why would he do
cold-blooded, so.
that?
Yeah. Not that because I'm Catholic or anything, but for him to come out and just say, you know what, Catholics did it, so let the ISIS, it's okay for ISIS to do it. So he was basically giving him a pass. That's what Obama was doing. And
Well, I mean,
everybody
they
was like,
killed what's his name, Obama Hussein or Saddam Hussein.
Mhm.
They killed him for less than that. Way less.
Yeah.
I mean, that dude, you know, they could have let him live, but he was a threat to society. So they went and hunted him down. And then they got the other guy for the 9/11 thing.
Supposedly.
Yeah. Now these guys are over here making all kinds of threats and even saying they're here.
Right.
They're saying they're already in our land and they're ready to go off or pull the trigger or whatever.
Right.
And this dude's sitting there. Oh yeah, well, you know, it's cool.
Yeah.
They did it back in the day.
Right. So okay.
Scary.
Last Wednesday, while I was at home in being sick on the couch, I heard a loud boom, and it sounded like somebody hit the side of my house. I went, whoa, what was that? And I thought it was like a car door, but I sort of kind of saw the windows rattle a little bit because like I was sitting right next to them. And then I was on Facebook and somebody posted, did anybody hear those booms, continuous booms? And I went, is that what I just heard? Because I only heard one.
It was my son.
Huh?
I think that was my son.
What do you mean your
He
son?
said it rattled his windows.
Okay.
Yeah, he lives in the foothills.
Okay. And well, several people from Mariposa all the way to Sanger felt them. I mean, hit hard. Okay.
I felt it in my room. I was on my bed laying there.
Okay. And I live at Clovis and Jensen, so I felt it over here. Now, nobody knew what they were. Somebody said, well, I think they were sonic booms, but somebody said there was close between 5 to 10 of them, and I don't think there's going to be that many sonic booms from a jet. I don't know how many jets doing that, and for one thing, I don't think they can do that anymore over public places. I don't think. Then I don't know what the date this was. I don't remember, but the Fox Network here in Fresno said that the U.S. Army Hawthorne Army Depot in West Nevada was blowing up old ammunitions. And I went, wait a minute. Okay, time out here, guys. Now, my job is to keep my eye on everything that's going on. You guys who watch my post on my wall, I will post, you know, the newest, quickest big earthquake. Any news that comes over the wire, I usually get it first or almost first, and I will put it on my wall. I know when earthquakes are occurring around my area and around the outskirts of California. That's my job, all right? And I have an app on my iPhone. That iPhone that I have, it's constantly, you know, it's on high alert for me, all right? So, and that's how come, you know, a lot of you guys, freak out. Jeff, how in the heck did you beat CNN with this information, or Fox News, or whatever? And it's because I'm constantly going from app to app to app, you know, website to website to website. Hawthorne is in Nevada, and they have areas there where I guess they store ammunitions from the military. Okay. I remember last year there was a lot of earthquakes, small little earthquakes right around there, 2.1, 1.3, you know, good sized ones. I mean, if you're there, then you feel it. Okay. And right away I thought to myself, okay, well, maybe they're blowing up some, you know, ammunitions there. And it pretty much was common sense to think that, because, you know, ammunitions and a lot of little tremors all around that area. Okay, they were blowing stuff up. And on my app where it says earthquakes, it documented those particular 1.1s to 2.2s and whatever, and I saw them. I was thinking, okay, cool. But we didn't hear anything here in Fresno, California. We didn't hear anything in Mariposa. We didn't hear anything in Sanger. All right. Then all of a sudden, you hear a boom, 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 and everybody's talking about it. And then the military releases information. Oh, it was us over here at Hawthorne on the Army where we keep all of our old ammunitions. We were blowing stuff up. Okay, so I went to the earthquake app, and there was nothing that registered on the Richter scale as far as earthquakes. Not a single one.
Now that should have hit a earth.
If we heard it here,
yeah,
that should have been a 3.0 or something, where they were blowing the stuff up.
Was it the
It was all-
weatherman, he was saying that it bounced like Skip, right?
Bull crap.
That the sound bounced over the mountains like Skip, like radio Skip.
Okay.
That's what he said. You know, and I was laughing.
Okay.
But if it like the other, what was it? My brother was saying underground bass. That would have rocked.
That
would have registered too.
Okay.
On the Richter scale.
You're right. I think you're well. Not unless they would have erased it before.
Oh, like turned it off.
Erased it before it actually got registered on any of the apps on the government earthquake apps. They could have done that, and they do that a lot.
Don't they screen those before they go out?
You know what? I do, but don't you think though, if they wanted to make us believers and say, "Hey, it was really us over here at Hawthorne," that they would at least put a 1.5 or 2.2 in that area? You follow me?
What if it was we've been reading in the news that they see Russian and China military ships and planes off our coast lately, right?
Right.
What if it was them coming over the mountains, over the Sierra Mountains, doing like Mach 2?
Okay, well, check it out. I just put up a map right now, and here's the Nevada borderline right here. I am with the arrow. Okay, here's Hawthorne military installation, or the area. Mariposa is right here. Supposedly, it's 86 miles from Mariposa, air miles, according to the Fox network. Okay. Again, if they were blowing up crap here, it should have registered. It should have registered on the earthquake map.
Especially Mammoth. How many seisma thingamajiggies do they have at Mammoth?
Now, check this out. Right here at Mono Lake.
Yeah.
We had a 5.2 on the 13th, which was a couple days ago. That's huge.
Yeah.
Okay, 5.2 is huge.
Yeah, that is.
Okay, for Mono Lake.
See, and that's Mammoth. That's that big. It's a giant volcano, like right by us.
Yes, right
Only
by
like
us.
60 miles, air miles.
Yes. Now the 13th. So we're the 15th. The 13th was Friday. So this happened on Friday. I think there's something going on underground, and I think I don't know what they're blowing up, but it's not. It might be right in this area. I don't know. I don't think they were sonic booms, to be honest. I really don't. Not that many continuous. Now, and I didn't post it, doggone it, but
yeah, my son timed them.
Did he?
It was like, he said it was like every 30 seconds or every something like that.
Mm-hmm.
When it first happened, then he started timing them, and it was like 6 of them. I can't remember.
Yeah, somebody was saying between 5 and 10.
Yeah, and they were like every 30 seconds. It was almost like exact, like every 30 seconds.
Every 30 seconds. I really think that they're blowing stuff up underneath the ground.
Right.
And I think I personally think they're making something bigger underground. That's my theory. Now, what's kind of weird is that this was in, oh God, why didn't they say that? I don't know if it was Florida, but this happened on Wednesday as well. There were some booms, and they actually broke windows and stuff. The military said that they were actually blowing up ammunition on the same day in a different state. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Is there a war going on underground, do you think?
It could be.
And maybe that's what we're hearing?
That's been tossed around for a long time. That
Big
we're
time.
Actually fighting the lizards.
A couple. Well, not only the lizards, but the NWO. Remember, it happened before Sacramento. It was in Virginia. There were some loud booms underneath Virginia on the East Coast, and the Whitecaps were going after. Remember that?
So the same thing, like what we're talking about, the reporters getting killed.
Ooh,
huh?
They know what's going on, and
they maybe were about to report on something about that. I mean, that would be along what my wife would think.
Interesting. I didn't think about that. So I think that something is definitely happening underground. I personally think that it's the good guys versus the bad guys. That's my theory. I mean, do I have proof? No, I don't have proof, obviously. But, you know, you're having some loud, weird booms occur. And not only in California, but, and I think it was Florida. I could have sworn it was Florida. And the military are using the excuse that we're blowing up ammunitions. And that's their excuse, and that's what they're using. So I personally don't believe it. I think it's a cover. So just keep your eyes and ears open from now on, and let's see what else is going. We're going to hear. You know, I don't know if any more journalists are going to die.
Yeah, you know what's funny is on our, I read the YouTube comments, and I used to reply to them, but only now there's so many of them. You know, I can't sit there all the time and reply to them, but like. I'll get like, I don't know, 300 emails from YouTube and stuff. And so I'll be looking at some of the comments, you know, I mean, I randomly select them. And I mean, there's ongoing, you know, conversations in some of them, you know, where they're arguing over things, points and stuff like that. But,
Right.
But only it's come up more than one time that I've seen, you know, they're like, how come, you know, you guys are always like so conspiracy, everything's a conspiracy, like, ooh, yeah, you know, we're maybe a little bit leaning towards that, but you have to understand, we go out and we have these incidences, and we have people talking to us about these things like what we're talking about. And it's hard to, it's like, what do they call it? Pandora's box, right? Once you open Pandora's box, it's hard to stuff everything back in and close the box. You know what I mean? Like, you're naturally suspicious after that of everything. Then, you know, not the world is, you don't see it the same anymore, you know, when, especially like the ruins. And you get the guy out there that knew all about us, everything about us, our birth dates, and there's 3 of us there, even a television producer from another city, you know, and he knew all about us, never met us in our life, and tells us all about each one of us, and shocked the shoes right off of us, you know. After that, I mean, how do you see the world the same after that? You know, and we still don't know about this guy,
Right.
or what's going on over there or anything. All we know is we found something. We got headed off at the pass. We didn't get arrested, but they did let us know they know everything about us.
Hear that?
Yeah, I'm feeling it. I could feel it. But, you know, it's not setting off the lightning. Kind of weird.
Oh, okay. Now, Dar Smith, Facebook friend, posted this for me. Arsenal munitions disposal shook Huntsville, Alabama, and surrounding areas on the 11th of February, which is 2 days, so Monday.
We shouldn't hear that.
No, but check this out. A Redstone Arsenal official confirmed that ordnance blasts were behind the loud booming noises felt in Huntsville and surrounding areas Wednesday evening. Oh, Wednesday evening. So it was Wednesday.
We wouldn't hurt.
But check it out though. They're using the same excuse.
Oh.
The military, on the same day we heard them here, these guys are saying, "Oh, we were blowing up ammunition." Now, check it out though. There were also reports of damage by some residents and businesses. I mean, there's some glass broken here. All right. The blast was so strong it was enough to register on the seismographs in the area. So this one here registered earthquake marks, okay, but yet the ones that we had here didn't. Why is that? Because maybe they forgot to add them in there.
Or they erased them, like what you were saying, like they were there and then they erased them.
But see, that's just it though. I would have said, I would have left them, or I would have placed them there to make you think that it was in Hawthorne. There's no reason why they should have erased them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
by not having them there, it's telling me you guys did not blow up crap.
Right, exactly.
Okay. If they were there, then I would have to step back and say, okay, you got me. You guys, I don't know if these are real or not. But somebody whose job was to place these fake ones there at that time screwed up because you guys didn't.
I was in the mountains one time. It was before I got hurt. It was like in the 80s, late 80s, or maybe even maybe mid 90s. And I was in the high country above the tree line, like way up there, like 8,500 feet, 9,000 feet elevation. And a sonic boom, a double sonic boom, almost knocked me off my feet. And I didn't know what it was, but it was like two booms in a row, like boom, boom. And it was loud. And I was up there for around 9 days by myself. And when I got home, I found out that it was the shuttle. The shuttle came over. It took a path over the top of the mountains and landed at Edwards Air Force Base. But when it comes in, it's going 2 times the speed of sound, and it it does 2 sonic booms. And that's what made me think maybe there's some other countries flying by here, or even us in a war with something,
or actual spaceships.
Yeah,
I mean, spaceships can cause sonic booms. You would think.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the shuttle's a spaceship.
Yeah.
And 2, like Mach 2.
Okay. Let me rephrase that. Starships.
Yeah. See, I'm not ruling it out. I mean, like if it didn't register on the ground,
right,
then it had to be something
in the sky.
Yeah.
Right. So somebody forgot to place some fake seismograph numbers on Wednesday when these things when you guys were blowing stuff up in Hawthorne. You guys screwed up. Somebody screwed up.
They probably did blow something up too, but it didn't.
Well, yeah, their theory is not holding water here. I'm sorry, and the media is falling for it. Why didn't the media go and see if there was anything registered around Hawthorne as far as on the Richter scale?
What if they did, and those are the guys that aren't alive to report it?
Oops. So,
I'm just saying.
And that is KMPH Fox here in Fresno. You guys, oops. You guys need to go and just because the military says something, you guys don't take it as fact, because something does not making sense here. There should have been some numbers registering, and there's not a single one registered for Wednesday. I checked. All right. So, oops.
That's interesting. I like your war theory under the ground, but I mean,
well,
I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying
especially under Yosemite.
Yeah.
The lizard. We've had people say, well, let's talk about the missing people for one thing. Mm-hmm. All right, you guys. And you guys who, if you've been following us for a while, we've had David Paulides, 411, missing 411. If you don't know about the missing people in the world, mostly in the United States and Canada, Yosemite National Park is the #1 place in the Sierras for missing people throughout the United States. And the author, David Paulides, has not said what he thinks is occurring. What he's doing is he's documenting as many cases as he can and putting them in books so you can go through them and try to analyze them for yourself and see why these people are going missing, and different age groups. All right, it's not one certain age group. We're talking from little kids all the way. What?
Nothing. Well, I mean, some people can't get video, but we're in the chat. I still haven't got video.
What?
I don't know what it is. I mean, some people are seeing it, but
yeah,
not everybody. I don't know what it is. I mean, we're going up and down on the amount of people, though, about 98, 100.
That's on chat only.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on, you guys, but we're still on. So, anyways, what now? I just
Amazing.
lost my train of thought. What were they talking about?
See, some of them say they have, like, Lewis has video, and he's in
Australia. So
But he has video. I'm sitting here right in the same studio, and I
and you
can't get video.
the video,
Yeah, but I'm going off the router. You know.
right? No, I mean we're perfect streaming here, so I have no clue.
So really, I'm getting it from. I actually am online going through live stream, so I'm getting it from where everybody else is.
Right.
But I don't got it.
You got it? Oh, you still haven't got it.
No.
We might have to reset the whole iPad there. So.
Well, I don't know how to do that. Let me see.
Okay,
There's
well.
a button here, right?
Yeah, just turn it off, turn it on. So, okay.
Like, is that the button?
It's 8:15.
6:15.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at this military time here. 18:15, 18:11 actually to be exact, on atomic clock time. Emerald,
I
you're
still
going to
got
be
a
leaving
couple
here pretty
minutes.
soon. You want to talk a bit about something before you
Oh
leave?
yeah. I don't know for all of you that know that Samsung has a TV that you could control with your voice. It's a voice programming thing. And what my professor was saying about it was, hold on, let me grab my notebook.
This is so interesting.
You need to get that professor
I know,
in here.
I know.
What is
I
wrong
know,
with you?
I know.
God.
You need to email him.
Well, give me his email.
Okay, I'll also give you his email.
Wait, Batman.
Okay, so this voice recognition, and this is with the Samsung TVs. So you opt into it. So you could just have it like normal TV with the remote, no voice recognition. But you know, like the voice, the new ones, like TV turn on, change channel, stuff like that, little stuff like that.
Does it have to know your voice, or can anybody do it?
See, I'm not sure about
Like, you
that.
could sit there and say, you know, turn on, and the wife could go turn off, and you could go turn
you know,
on.
I
and,
think
you
it
could
has to be
argue like
the
that.
recognition. I think it's set to 1. I think it's kind of like those Xbox, the ones. I'm
okay.
PlayStation, so whatever, Xbox. Anyway, so there's a warning on the boxes in the fine print that says, be careful what you
Warning.
say, because they sell your data to a third party. They could record what you're saying through this new TV. Now, no one knows who the third party is. I'm thinking, and my professors, he sort of hinted at it. He, like I said, he always tells us, okay, think for yourselves. I think the third party is like a government type thing, because who else is going to want your conversations? You know what I mean?
Right.
Another thing is, too, what he brought up, and he says it would be interesting to find out who financed that programming. So who basically said, okay, Samsung, we're going to give you X amount of money to put this new product in your TVs, and you sell us that data.
I wonder if you could figure that out.
I'm sure there's a way. I'm so sure. I got to do it.
Isn't that an invasion of privacy, though? I mean,
Not if it tells you. It tells you.
what tells you what?
It tells you on the box.
Oh, that we can record you?
Yeah. And it's
sell
known.
Your, and sell
Yeah,
your
it's
information.
known that they could sell that data.
Wow.
So I just thought that was interesting.
I
He brought it up.
say no more Samsung TVs.
Well, no, what was nice about it is you have to opt into the voice recognition. They can't do anything unless you're part of that program. So you're basically kind of selling yourself, but not getting any of that money.
I wonder what other products are like that. Like, they have.
Well, I know people were worried about like the Xbox cameras, because like the Kinect and stuff, saying that they could record what you're doing. Well, Xbox came out and said, no, we cannot record on that thing. There's no way. So you guys have nothing to worry about. Xbox has always been pretty good with their customer base, but to hear that from Samsung, I was like, dang, that's kind of weird. Like, you gotta wonder though. Like, he brought it up, who financed that, if anybody. So that would be something good to research.
Okay.
That's something I'm going to research.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun.
It's interesting, like little things
Yeah.
like that, and how we would have never agreed to any of this years ago, but now it's kind of normal. It's everything that the conformity stuff is becoming normal. So.
Yeah, and you know, like the young, like I was saying, the young generation are buying into all the technology, latest
Well, because
phone,
that's what it is.
latest,
It's
you know.
tech.
Yeah.
And we were talking about like, not begging on people on welfare, but the Obama phones. That's what we call them.
Right.
It's kind of like, it's basically you're giving them a tracker, except the only thing is I have to pay for my own tracker, kind of thing.
Right.
Because that's what a phone is now. It's a tracker.
It
So-
really is.
It's kind of it's crazy. Like, when you start thinking about things, it's not just, oh, that's a cool new TV. It's like, no, that's how someone is recording your conversations, and It's crazy.
Well, I know they've been doing it on the internet for years.
Oh yeah.
You know, like that was one of the first, for me, introductions of anything tracking you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was like, even if you you know, do everything you can to hide yourself on the internet, you're not really hiding yourself. They know everywhere you go, and I even have some friends, like, they're old guys like me, you know, and they're like, how come on my Facebook, you know, I got dating things, you know, porn or women, you know, like on the all the ads. I'm like, your search, what you search for
Yeah.
and look at on the internet is the ads you get. Like on mine, it's all computer stuff.
Well, even no,
you know.
it's true, because on mine there's a bunch of dragon stuff and
Yeah.
just all this other stuff, and I didn't really catch on to that until a couple of years ago either. But even on your phone apps, like
Yeah.
what apps they like say, oh, this is for you on Facebook, or buy this app.
Mm-hmm.
It all has to do with what you search and what you're into. So,
And it even goes into your emails. Like,
yeah.
I open, I like Newegg is my favorite one because they have really cheap prices. So I'm always looking at Newegg stuff. So now my ads, not only are they computer related, they're
It's
even
a
like,
specific one.
oh yeah, and down to the certain products that I've been looking at. You know, like I've been looking at solid state hard drives, and you know, bam, I'm getting all these ads for solid state hard drives because I looked at 4 or 5 of them, you know, and right now they're getting pretty cheap. So everybody that wants to make their computer really fast, go get you a solid state hard drive now. I mean, it'll make your computer so fast, it's ridiculous. So there's your next upgrade.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
really.
it's crazy, like the things that have become normal, where back in the day it would totally be an invasion of privacy. No one would
Oh.
stand for it.
And then, you know, when I talk to these old guys and I tell them the whys, they freak out.
Oh,
That is an invasion. I mean, that's what they say, invasion of privacy, and nobody, you know. And then when you talk to somebody that's 18, like some of my grandkids and stuff
They're
like
like,
that.
oh, cool story.
Yeah, they don't care.
No.
It's like, who cares, man? You know, like, that's, get with it, pops, you know. This is nothing. But really, we're giving up everything.
Well, because it's kind of like they're giving us this technology, but we're giving them rights. It's kind of like the
We're
trade-off.
giving up rights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're giving them rights, our rights. So that's just that's my take on it, and it's my opinion. So
That's interesting that your professor like brings that up
he's
to talk
into
about
everything,
it,
and
you
it's like, where was this guy when I first started college? But seeing him in my last year kind of sucks, but it's kind of cool, and we really do need to get him on the show because he brings up just this random stuff that, I mean, and he's like, you guys think it's random, but I read it in the newspaper, or I read it here, I did this, I did that, and it's out there. People just don't look.
we're not private anymore.
No.
Like by a long shot. Everybody has a cell phone. That means that they can track you down. I mean, if you think you're running away and you're off in the whatevers, you know, the boonies,
Don't take your cell phone.
you have to totally leave your cell phone.
What you need to do
Yeah.
is go get one of those pay
Yep.
what do you call them?
Prepaid
phones,
Mhm.
Walmart.
Don't
or
register
7-Eleven.
it.
and that's the only way.
I mean, they can still track it, and you have to pay for it with cash. Because if you buy it with your
Credit cards, yeah.
yeah, they'll know the product code and everything, and they'll be able to track you
Yeah.
because they tracked it from your. So you have to buy it with cash.
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
you didn't. One of my friends that works for the police department, we had a problem with one of my nephews. Broke up with someone, and he was at our house, and then the guy found our house, right? And my buddy that works at the police department told me, you know what, you got to take his cell phone and throw it away. He goes, go drive out in the country, and he told me it doesn't matter if you turn it off or anything. This guy, because it's his account that the phone is on, he can find out where this guy is anytime.
Oh yeah, if it's an Apple phone, like an iPhone, you could find my phone,
Yeah.
and it'll tell you where it's at.
Yeah, and he says that you could call, and because it's your phones, they'll tell you. And the only other way is wrap it up in foil or something like that, and put it in a lockbox or something. And then the signal bounces off. Because the people there's now, they have these things. You buy a car, and you buy it on credit, and they're putting a tracker in the car that could shut your car down. You miss a payment, and bam, your car gets shut down, and they know where it is, and they'll come and tow it away if you don't pay within a certain amount of time.
That's if it gets stolen too. They could shut the car down. So.
Man, that one really irks me. That you could buy a car, and then you have problems for a month, and then.
Well, it's kind of like, I could kind of understand it. I mean, I am sympathetic, but at the same time, you're making an agreement to pay.
Right.
So, and I mean, I'm total justice over everything, and that's one of my biggest flaws, because it is to me, the stuff like that. But I can understand why. But then at the same time, it's like something could happen where you have no idea or control, and then it's only 1 month, and there goes your car. Yeah,
like your paycheck, like something screwed up in the bank on your direct deposit, and
nowadays people are living,
paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
No, I'm paycheck to 5 days before paycheck.
And that's just the way it goes sometimes. So, all right, let's go ahead and let's reveal Finley's painting.
Oh yeah.
You want to leave? You can leave now if you want.
You want to see his painting?
No.
You didn't see it?
Oh yeah, I want to see it.
Last week, Danny showed or debuted a couple of. Actually, it was a wooden horse, and it was a Patterson Gimlin. It had some wood carvings on it, and it'd be Thomas Finley, who is in the UK, and he does a lot of this woodwork. And he also paints and does stuff like that. And there was this one particular painting that I really liked. And I said, hey, dude, can I get this painting and we'll put it in the studio? What kind of sucks is that he sent it, and somehow we missed it here, and it got sent back to the UK.
Oh, wow.
So this painting has been here, back to the UK, and now it's back again. And we finally got it, because actually we sent it to Alan's house because during the day we're not home. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and reveal it right now. This is actually get put on the TV show, not in the set that we're in right now, but on the TV show we have a fireplace mantle type of deal, and that is gonna get taken down, and we're gonna put this in its place. And I wanted to wait until Alan got back so we could take it out.
And I love Thomas Finley's stuff. I've been like a big fan of his for a while now.
And it's also the art that right now is on the live stream. Oh, you can. That's it.
Do you want me to put it in front of the camera?
Like put it right in front of my
actually,
face.
I need to. There you go, right there.
Yeah.
There it is.
Like put it in front of your face. That's where all the lights are.
So very cool. What is the painting?
Isn't it
Scream
something? I don't remember. I will Google it.
You can Google it. I know my wife knows what it is, but it's a Bigfoot, doing the
pose.
Yeah, the pose, and in the background you see the Loch Ness monster.
So cool.
So this is a really cool painting. Thomas Finley from the UK. He has a website, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think he does, but Facebook would be...
Yeah, Thomas Finley, F-I-N-N-L-E-Y, I believe.
F-I-N-L-E-Y, okay. Thomas Finley. And he has a website. We posted last week some of his work, and I think he almost dropped dead because, it basically, everybody and their mother was now ordering stuff, and, it's good stuff. He does really good work, and we're going to put that on the TV show. So eventually, when the TV show gets picked up worldwide, you're going to see this painting in back of the couch. Let's just say on the mantle. So you'll see it. So they're seeing it worldwide right now on the internet. So
what is it called?
The Scream.
The Scream. There you go. The Scream.
The Scream.
I should have known that.
The Whoop.
So. All right, thank you, Thomas Finley.
Thank you, Thomas.
And
And I love that rocking horse or that little horse thing. Yeah, it was really cool. I heard that is going to be given away at the Ohio Bigfoot Convention or whatever it is.
Oh yeah, really?
Yeah,
They're gonna sell it, no? Or they're gonna auction, or is it
Yeah,
like a
like-
raffle ticket or something?
Yeah.
Or,
Man, so I wished I could go. I would buy like 100 tickets just to see if I could win it.
and Heidi, his number's on there, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
So,
throw it.
all right, you guys. I'm gonna head out. I
Yep.
will not be back next weekend.
Emerald.
I am. She's going on vacation too.
Not a vacation, but I'm gonna be in Sacramento. So family. Yep.
Right on.
Cool.
Okay, cool. Kobe,
All right, guys.
do me a favor and hand me the actual
The
phone,
wires, yeah.
Just for the phone. Thank you. All right. Bye, Emerald. Thank you.
I am. See you in a couple of weeks.
We'll talk to you soon. All right. What time is it right now? It is 7:20, and I say, well, let's go ahead and call Heidi. And I'm gonna do the finger walking this time, you guys. So Heidi Hollis, we're gonna call Heidi. And there we go.
I still don't have video.
Really?
Yeah. Pretty interesting.
That's weird, dude.
Yeah, it is.
That is weird.
I wish I could do a hard reset on this, but I don't know how.
Here, let me have it.
Hello.
Heidi.
Hey.
Heidi, I'm back.
Hey. Awesome. You guys are surprising me a little bit early. I'm like,
Oh.
I've got a few minutes yet.
You're not on the pod or anything, are you?
No.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
How are you guys doing? It's good to hear you're back there, Alan. And Jeff, you got your voice back. Everything is good.
So far, so good.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
it's crazy, but
I'm doing really good too. I mean, really good. I'm alive.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, I was really. It was touch and go for me, really.
I know you had me scared.
Yeah.
Actually.
My wife was freaking out. She said, like, for a couple days there, I had her worried pretty good. I was actually, like, in Flashback City because in 2000, I was actually flat on my back for almost 6 months. And it was the actual same spot that disabled me.
Wow.
So it was, like, really freaking me out. Really bad.
Oh, my.
It was, like, changed my life once, and it almost changed my life again.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Man, so it was just about as bad as we can imagine.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Like an infection that was almost ending everything.
Here's news for you, Alan.
Mhm.
Quit it. Don't do that again.
Yeah. I wish I knew. They don't know what it was. They didn't figure
Really?
out. Yeah, we don't know what caused it. Nobody knows. It's a
government conspiracy.
it's an anomaly. You know.
They took me out. They took him out first and took me out second.
Yeah,
My
kind of
goodness.
weird.
Well, and you
Bastards.
guys know, I mean, I've still been battling whatever the heck I've got. So this is all your fault then. I was in the hospital for the holidays and
No
then,
kidding.
Got an ear infection, got just upper respiratory infection. It's been ongoing. It's like never ending. It's crazy.
That is kind of weird, huh?
It is.
I did
It
see
is.
you.
It's
bizarre.
it's only affecting the important people. You know who hasn't been sick? Danny. So he's not important.
I saw you force a smile. You know, I was like going through the Facebook in the middle of the 3 a.m. or something.
Right.
And I
Right,
saw
yes.
it, and I know you had to force that because I heard it was like 30 below or something over there.
That's about right. And I've been sick as a dog still, and it's like, I'm like,
man.
you know what? Let me see if I can paint this smile on.
Yay, how'd you do that?
Turn the power off and on.
Man,
After
Jeff's
reset
like
it.
magic. or
Nope.
something, you know.
Just turn the power off and on. So, all right, Heidi, we got your pictures.
Yes.
And
Yes.
let's go ahead. And for those who are watching this right now on live stream, I'm going to be putting them up in order as Heidi talks about them. And if you are listening at artbell.com, they do have them there as well. Marked Heidi Hollis photographs. So let's go ahead and go to picture number 1. And I am going to switch over. And you are good to go. We got a lizard Okay.
Yeah, and I want to first invite everybody, if you have had anything out of the ordinary happen to you, you want some odd advice or just want to share, please feel free to write me at oddadvicehh@gmail.com. You can also go to my main website, HeidiHollis.com, and I will do my best to get your information up on the show and share it with these guys so we can all toss in our opinions on it. So, okay.
Sweet.
This first guy, he is just so creepy looking. But this guy, I thought this was relevant to the story of what I came across. I'm focusing on this evening are strange cases of those who have vanished or gone through portals of a sort. So, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this guy's name right, but John Palafox, in his 1961 book called Proofs of My Return, and my goodness, I've been trying to find this book. I cannot find it. And I guess a lot of people are trying to find this book as well because this guy is incredible. His stories are absolutely incredible. But he states that there are intersecting ley lines throughout the United States used to get to parallel universes and alternate realities and planes. One of the most notorious dimensional planes he claims exists in Montmorency County, Michigan. And this is a quote from his book. It says, I was driving in a deserted part of a northern state. That's kind of vague. When I started seeing lizard-like things about 2 to 3 feet high standing upright near the sides of the gravel road I was on. They looked intelligent, not like lizards or wild beasts. They seemed to follow me with their heads and eyes. These lizard-like things were really ugly, so I started to drive faster, and I swear the road turned into a light brown, packed earth drive, and the trees and such were all different, like nothing I've ever seen anywhere. There were funny-colored plants with curly leaves and vines that smelled funny. That's kind of funny. I had the window down. The whole scene was unreal, and the worst was that small, squat-like people were around the sides of this earthen trail working and not paying much attention to me. They were gathering big triangular fruits and hitting them with sticks. Some did look at me as I passed in my car and shook their heads as if to say I had made a mistake. I actually wet my pants. I was so scared, but I drove out just like I drove in, and suddenly everything was normal again. Woo!
Whoa.
That is a story that I swear I have never, ever heard of. But, there's been a lot of people that have reported, like, kind of driving into other dimensions and whatnot. But apparently this guy, John Palafox, Palifox, claims that he would do this all the time.
Whoa.
So, isn't that a creepy-looking thing? I mean, I just thought that was relevant. That's not actually, a drawing of his or anything like that. But I'm like, it probably looks something like that thing.
A couple of years ago when we went out on our Mount Shasta trip, we got the fifth wheel and we went and drove to Mount Shasta, and when we were there, we met with an author, and he was telling us of the stuff that's been going on around Mount Shasta, and he mentioned that, and I think this was him who said him and his son were driving where our location where our RV park was at, and as they were driving where this park was at, they could see like an opening, a portal, and they could see dinosaurs sort of kind of walking in the distance, and it was going in and out of focus, and they were going, do you see that? And he goes, yes. And it was like, like another dimension opened up, and it closed up, and like they were just blown away. They both could see this. And I wonder how many times this happens around the world. A portal just happens to open up and you see these things, and it very well could have happened here, like your story.
Right. I mean, one never knows. Some of the things that we get glimpses of. Did we just so happen to see into another portal or something? Was that creature not actually standing there, but just a portal cracked open? Right. So I know I've seen some crazy things over the years, and stories like this get me to wonder sometimes, like perhaps it wasn't in my time or space that this actually took place. family said I'd seen something. So who knows? Maybe I'm a portal buster.
I wonder, like, see, I think about this all the time. Like, what if these things really, they're there, like, in your time frame, you know, right then, but not in our vision that we can see. And then they could actually see into the other light spectrums or whatever and see us and them, but we only see in a small, like, spectrum. You know what I mean? Like, we only could see light in certain spectrum. So they have the ability to see not really another dimension or anything, just in another light spectrum. Even their body would be a different spectrum, so we can't even see it.
That makes sense. You know, I have 6 sisters, and one I'm sure is demonic, and I think she's a shapeshifter. So there you have it.
And
God,
there goes your birthday present for this year.
She's not listening.
Okay. And you know, by looking at this photograph, you sometimes you wonder who got the idea for Lustige in Land of the Lost.
Land of the Lost. Yeah.
Okay. Think about that, you
serious.
guys who used to watch Land of the Lost religiously. Me, that was a badass. That was an awesome cartoon, dude. Oh, not even a cartoon. It was craft. It was a craft Marty.
Holly and somebody else. I don't know what the guy's name.
Like the Bugaboos.
Will and
Holly.
Holly, Will. Oh, you now see I'm not going to be able to get to sleep tonight.
It was Holly. It was Holly, the little blonde.
Yeah. Well, no, yeah, Holly, Will, and I forgot the dad's name, but anyway, but okay.
Yeah, pretty wild. All right, I got another disappearing story for you. All right. The disappearing diplomat, British diplomat Benjamin Bathurst, vanished into thin air in 1809. Bathurst is returning to Hamburg with a companion after a mission to the Austrian court. Along the way, they had stopped for dinner at an inn in the town of Perleberg. Upon finishing the meal, they returned to their waiting horse-drawn coach, and Bathurst's companion watched as the diplomat stepped over in front of the coach to examine the horses and simply vanished without a trace. Oh, no, that's not the right one. The guy, the British-looking fella.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
This guy.
Benjamin Bathurst. I'm like, wow. I mean, right in front of somebody. I mean, that's just the craziest thing. I just have never ever heard of such a thing. I wish that some of our diplomats would vanish. There he is, right there.
Did he ever reappear?
Nope.
Wow. I
Never seen or heard from again.
I wonder if he reappeared somewhere in another time, you know, and everybody thought he was Bathurst crazy.
You know, you never know. You never know. Just maybe.
Maybe. Even before our time yet, you know, like 2043 or something.
Well, you know, there's a lot of photographs out there of time travelers, you know, because they'll show this black and white photograph. It's like Waldo, you know, the guy's is out of place.
Right.
You know, his clothing is way different. It's too modern for the era that picture was taken.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I've seen a few of those. It was pretty wicked. Now I've got another cool one. Now this is just bizarre.
different picture.
Maybe you guys heard of this one.
What picture now?
Of the soldiers.
Okay.
All right. So 3 soldiers claim to be witnesses to the bizarre disappearance of an entire battalion in 1915. They finally came forward with a strange story 50 years after the infamous Gallipoli campaign of World War I. The 3 members of a New Zealand field company said they watched from a clear vantage point as a battalion of the Royal Norfolk Regiment marched up a hillside in Sulfa Bay, Turkey. The hill was shrouded in a low-lying cloud that the English soldiers marched straight into without hesitation. They never came out.
Wow.
After the last of the battalion had entered the cloud, it slowly lifted off the hillside to join other clouds in the sky. When the war was over, figuring that the battalion had been captured and held prisoner, the British government demanded that Turkey return them. The Turks insisted, however, that it had neither captured, not made contact with these English soldiers. Isn't that just crazy? These are actually some of the soldiers.
Wow, that's a cool one. I wonder if they marched right into a UFO or something.
Yeah, that blended in with the clouds like it just gobbled them up or something. I mean, that is really, really, really wild. I don't know if I've heard of that, but I've heard of it. It just made me think of like some of the ghost soldiers that you'll see marching, coming out of a cloud or something, on
Right,
the battlefield.
right. Like in Gettysburg.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Those
But
are
never
those are really
being
cool.
sucked up into a cloud. That's
Nope.
crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Very cool.
So, yeah, pretty cool one. I've got another vanishing act. Okay. This one is considered the legend of David Lang. This famous case allegedly took place in September of 1880. This is the sketch-like drawing with the question mark on the guy there, Jeff.
Yep, got it.
1880 on a farm near Gallatin, Tennessee, in full view of several witnesses. The two Lang children, George and Sarah, were playing in the front yard of the family home. Their parents, David and Emma, came out the front door, and David headed off across a pasture toward his horses. At this time, a buggy carrying a family friend named Judge August Peck was approaching. David turned to walk back to the house, saw the buggy, and waved to the judge as he strode across the field. A few seconds later, David Lang, in clear view of his wife and children and the judge, disappeared in mid-step.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's crazy. Emma screamed, and all the witnesses rushed to the spot where David once was, thinking perhaps he'd fallen into a hole or something, but there was no freaking hole. A thorough search by the family and friends and neighbors turned up nothing. A few months after the unexplained disappearance, the Lang children noticed that the grass on the spot where the father had vanished had turned yellow and wilted in a circle that measured about 15 feet in diameter.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Like he got
So-
beamed up.
Yeah, that sounds like a zap of a UFO or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's crazy. That's a little cray-cray right there. I don't know. I had not heard of this, and you're calling it a famous case. I'm like, that's famous? Really?
Yeah. I think I
But,
heard of the judge.
Yeah, it's like in front of a judge. Like, he could bear witness, right?
Well,
He
I
would
think
actually
I
be
heard
believed,
of.
right?
I think I read of that judge before.
Oh,
that
really?
name, yeah. Yeah, Judge Peck. It's
You're crazy.
like a
So this
hanging
next one-
judge.
Stonehenge with the lightning. There you go. All right. This one I am shocked that I've never heard of before. I was really, really dumbfounded when I found this one. Mysterious standing stones of Stonehenge in England was the site of an amazing disappearance August 1971. At this time, Stonehenge was not yet protected from the public, so I guess anybody could hang out there. And on this particular night, a group of freaking hippies decided to pitch their tents in the center of the circle and spend the night. I think that's kind of awesome. They built a campfire, lit several joints of pot, and sat around smoking and singing.
That was me.
What's that?
That was me. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right? I think that's awesome. I'm like, why can't we sing Kumbaya? Let's do it. Let's make a road trip, guys. So their camp out was abruptly interrupted at about 2 a.m. by a severe thunderstorm that quickly blew in over Salisbury Plain. Bright bolts of lightning crashed down on the area, striking area trees and even the standing stones themselves. Two witnesses, a farmer and a policeman, said that the stones of the ancient monument lit up with an eerie blue light that was so intense that they had to avert their eyes.
Wow.
They heard screams coming from the campers, and the two witnesses rushed to the scene expecting to find injured or even dead campers. But to their surprise, they found no one.
Ooh.
All that remained within the circle of stones were several smoldering tent pegs and drowned remains of a campfire. The hippies themselves were gone without a trace.
Wow.
I mean, really?
Wow.
I'm like, who were these people?
And that
I want
reminds
to know who they were.
That reminds me of my trip to Oregon when my tent disappeared.
What?
Yeah, me and my wife sleeping in a tent, and the whole tent except for the floor disappeared. And I mean, everything in the tent stayed there. We went to sleep in a tent. We woke up on the floor of a tent with no tent in the middle of the night.
Well, you know, that's kind of like that trick you can do with a tablecloth with all the stuff on it and see if anything's disturbed. Maybe Bigfoot was practicing on you.
I thought about that. And there was 2 tents one on each side of us, and their tents were intact, and we never found the tent. We looked everywhere for a whole day, and we couldn't find
you didn't
it.
Notice it. You slept right through it all.
Yeah, woke up and I was looking at the stars, and it was actually like cloudy with breaks in the clouds, and I could see the stars, and I was thinking, wow, that looks pretty cool, you know, and I could feel mist hitting my face, like a light mist.
Wow.
And then I thought, wait a minute, I was in a tent, and I woke my wife up, and we crawled into her mom's tent and slept the rest of the night, and then when we got up, everybody looked for the tent. We couldn't find it.
So was was it cut? Was it ripped?
It was it wasn't cut. It was kind of like looked ripped because it had like little threads.
Right.
But only there was trees all the way around us. We were in a woods.
Right.
And there was no tent anywhere. And you'd think if it blew off or something like that, it would be in the trees.
Well,
you know.
but it can't blow off because you guys are sitting on the tent.
Right.
Yeah, but we weren't sitting on the walls and everything. That's what blew away. The floor was still there.
But the floor is usually attached to the tent, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
That's what I'm saying. So,
yeah, well, the ropes, the poles, everything was gone. Just the floor and us was in our bags and stuff were there. But it's still weird.
You know, if I would have known about this before you came on board, I would have never brought you on board.
Yeah, we would disappear.
Because now I'm gonna, next time we're out camping, I'm done.
Holy cannoli.
I'll have what you're having, Ellen.
Yeah, maybe it's made my hair curly. I don't know.
No.
Oh my goodness, that is creepy. That is really creepy.
It's creepy. That one that you just talked about kind of brought that to my mind. We're out there camping.
Yeah. No, I totally get it. I mean, I don't know. I just, I had something really kind of weird happen, and I don't know if I should share it on air, but
Absolutely. If not, you're fired.
Okay. Man, did you hear that?
Yeah, but he'll give you a raise. If you tell, he'll give you a raise.
I'll make it double of what you're making now.
Oh, gosh. Well,
Take it. Better take it.
This is just crazy. I don't even know what category this fits in, but like I was really, really, really like kind of ill this one day, right? And I had a friend that was coming into town that was just dying to come to see my city. It hadn't been there for a long time. I'm like, oh sure, come on in. And as the day progressed, I was taking her around, to see stuff and whatever. And I just like. I got like a crazy fever out of nowhere to a point where like I was aching all over, and I'm like, I am dying. I'm pretty sure I'm dying. I didn't get a chance to see what my temperature was or whatever it was. I mean, I just was feeling so ill. Went back to my friend's hotel, and I was just like, I'm going to get into your freaking tub. And of course, what's the worst thing to do when you have a fever is get in a hot tub. And I get into the hot tub just to get the body aches to chill out somehow. I was just like going up into a ball. I'm like, I'm staying at your hotel tonight because I can't go home. I feel so ill. And I don't even know what to say, what happened. But I woke up in the middle of the night. I had nothing on. And my clothes were neatly folded at the foot of the bed. And I had no fever, and I was perfectly fine.
Whoa.
I was like, and here's my friend sleeping. I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't get my clothes. I'm like, what just happened? It was crazy. I had like a less than a 24-hour thing. I mean, it was like probably 8 hours I didn't feel well. And boom, it was gone. I have no idea. I'm like, aliens? Hold on. I don't get abducted. I
Ah,
You know, what
Whoa.
happened? I have no idea.
Huh.
It was crazy.
that would be
Huh.
weird.
Yeah,
That's like
that
you
was-
were taking Ambien or something, you know?
Did I get to keep my job now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're okay.
Okay, thanks.
So my doctor told me if that happens to me to quit taking the Ambien.
Oh,
You know, like
Or quit hanging out with that stupid ass crazy dude Jeff Gonzalez.
they said like if you wind up like waking up on the neighbor's couch and you cleaned out their fridge and you wake up on their couch, quit taking the Ambien.
there you go. There you go. I didn't even get a chance to take anything. I was just like, I just had a crazy fever. I didn't feel anything else was wrong. I don't know. It came on quickly and just disappeared. Like I got an alien bug, and they said, "Oh crap, we weren't supposed to give it to her. Let's fix her."
That's a
I don't
trip.
know. It was
Wow.
weird.
That is a
It was really
trip.
bizarre.
That would kind of scare me. I would be worried about that for a while, probably.
Yeah, it creeped me out, and of course it didn't say anything to my friend. I'm like, whoa, I woke up. I'm like, maybe I had like such a fever. I just took everything off, folded it. I'm like, no way. What? I don't get it. It was weird.
Like
So
delirious.
anyways, there I
Yeah.
shared. This is a night of sharing.
Okay.
So
Cool.
the picture that you pulled up there, those are Inuit natives
Okay.
of
Inuit.
I think it's Alaska. Oh, it's in Canada. You know what I love about this picture? You know when you guys have kids, you know when your kid just falls down and has a tantrum, they don't care who's there? Well, apparently that can happen. Even with this picture, you see that kid on the floor having a tantrum? It's hilarious.
Is that what he's doing? I thought he was playing marbles.
It's hilarious. I'm like, oh my God, look at that. So this is like, I don't know when that picture is from, but this was a Inuit villagers of Canada. So I wanted to talk about a little bit about that village that disappeared that many have heard of over and over again. But there's details I personally had never heard of, so I just wanted to share because it's probably one of the most famous incidences of disappearances. I mean, that us weird people know about. So bear with me as I read the story. Okay, so in November 1930, a fur trapper named Joe LaBelle made his way on snowshoes to an Eskimo village on the shores of Lake Anjikuni in northern Canada. LaBelle was familiar with the village, which he knew was a thriving fishing community of about 2,000 residents. Now, this is controversial because when I've looked up like the number of people, I've heard like there's been 30, and the story I found it said 2,000. I have no idea. But when he arrived, however, the village was deserted. All of the huts and storehouses were vacant. He found one smoldering fire on which there was a pot of blackened stew. LaBelle notified the authorities, and an investigation was begun. Now, according to 1984's The World's Greatest UFO Mysteries by Roger Bohr and Nigel Blundell, on their way to Anjikuni Lake, the Mounties, the Canadian Mounties that were going there to investigate, stopped for a bit of rest at a shanty that was shared by a trapper named Armand Laurent and his two sons. The officers explained to their host that they were headed to Anjikuni to deal with a kind of problem that was going on there. The Mounties inquired as to whether or not the Laurent had seen anything unusual during the past few days, and the trapper was forced to concede that he and his sons had spied a bizarre, gleaming object soaring across the sky just a few days before. Laurent claimed that the enormous, illuminated flying thing seemed to change shape before their very eyes, transforming from a cylinder into a bullet-like object. He further divulged that this unusual object was flying in the direction of the village of Anjikuni. Now, the Mounties investigation turned up some bizarre findings. No footprints of any kind of the residents were found. If they'd vacated the village, and it's kind of bizarre, all of the Eskimo sled dogs were found buried under a 12-foot-high snowdrift because they all starved to death. All the Eskimos' food and provisions were found undisturbed in their huts still. And there was one lasting unnerving discovery, is that the Eskimos' ancestral graves had all been emptied. Now,
Wow.
this is as if it couldn't get any officers at the scene supposedly reported that there was odd bluish lights. You could show the Aurora Borealis picture there. But they saw odd bluish lights pulsating on the horizon above the village. The men watched until the illumination disappeared, all of them concurring that this unusual light show did not resemble the Aurora Borealis. After 2 weeks of investigation, the Mounties, based on some berries that they found in one of the cooking pots, came to the somewhat dubious conclusion that the villagers had been gone for about 2 months at least. And this presents a crazy question. If the Inuits really had abandoned their homes 8 weeks before, then who was responsible for making the fire that LaBelle saw when he first arrived at the village? Now, what's interesting, LaBelle himself told reporters that he believed that Anjakuni people were now missing due to a run-in with what the Eskimos would call an evil spirit named Tornrak. Now, that is crazy. I don't know if you can see that. Show that picture of that crazy-looking creature. I don't know if you got that one there, the bear-looking thing. And this demonic entity that LaBelle referred to, Torngasok, also known as these other names, Torngasuk, Tornasuk, who, according to Inuit legend, is a powerful sky deity who is the leader of a legion of malevolent spirits. Yeah, that's a cool picture too. Like it show the UFOs with the UFO picking up the Eskimo igloos. That was funny, but that was just a little comedy relief. But yeah, that's Torngasuk. It's worth noting that LaBelle, a supposed stranger to the region, was apparently familiar enough with the indigenous people and their customs to mention one of their most maleficent entities by name. I mean, what a strange-looking creature that thing is. But to share a little bit more about that guy, that creature, it's said to be invisible to all but the Inuit shamans, who were known to recite incantations and make animal sacrifices in order to keep this so-called great devil at bay. This malicious being was said to occasionally appear in animal form, such as that of a bear. Apparently he could hold a fishing pole, too. But could it be the Anjakuni natives came to believe that one or more of their precious sled dogs were actually incarnations of this beast, so they let them starve? But again, it's like a possibility, according to legend, that this was indeed the workings of their crazy demon guy. So that's something I'd never heard of before. So I just want to share on that. Isn't that wild? Have you guys ever heard of this demonic thing coming after
Nope.
them?
Nope.
Yeah.
No, but I've heard, like, because, you know, all the tribal stuff, I heard the medicine men can, like, shape shift and stuff like that. They take, like, peyote or, you know, some other herbs and stuff like that, and they can actually do a ritual and turn into a certain animal and stuff like that. You know, I've heard that. And also that like owls are bad. Like my wife's grandpa, he would run from owls because they brought bad news. You know.
Oh, wow.
And the coyotes, like up here in these mountains, like if a coyote runs in front of you when you're in the car, it's like bringing bad news. If it stops and looks at you, you know, like stops in the middle of your path and then looks at you, it's like somebody's gonna die or something.
Well, then,
you know,
should you run as that's over?
I would, you know, like take out the messenger.
Yeah,
You know?
take out the messenger. Oh hell no!
You know, but I have heard like of skinwalkers. I mean, but normally those are like the medicine man,
Right.
that can change himself. But then there is the stories of the skinwalkers. You know what I mean? Like they're these spirits that they're like maleficent or, you know, bad,
Okay.
evil things, and but I never heard of a bear human-looking kind of thing like that one with a fishing pole. Even, I mean, come on.
With a fishing pole.
Yeah. I know when I was in Africa that I was going to take a bath in the Gulf of Guinea in the ocean, and before I got I was just going to be in my underwear, but before I could get in the water,
I'm blind.
These natives that were around there, they stopped me at gunpoint and told me that I couldn't go in the water because there was a curse that if anybody touched the ocean water on Tuesday, all the fish would go away for a year, a season, and they would all die because that was their way of living. Mm-hmm. And so I could come back on Wednesday or any other day, but I could not go in the water on Tuesday. So I got turned away that day, and I came back on Wednesday the very next day, and everybody was in the water, and I went in the water, and I mean, everything was cool. But they would have shot me on the spot if I would have tried that day. You know, I mean, there's weird stuff, weird beliefs.
Yeah, indeed. I think I would have listened to the natives as well.
Oh, I did. But only, I mean, like that, this one, you know, this bear thing, it sounds more like alien stuff to me.
It really does. It really does. And it's, I don't know, interesting, something that you mentioned with the owl thing. How fascinating is it that, you know, people who report having been abducted by aliens, they think that there were owls in their bedroom. You know, like that's like the number one cover that gray aliens will use. Or, you know, they thought they saw a deer in their bedroom or an owl, and you know, people
I didn't know
get
that.
regressed and they find, it was an alien. It wasn't an owl.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's like probably the number one animal that people think they dreamt an owl is fluttering around in the bedroom, or a deer tromping through. I'm like, wow, that's
I didn't know
I guess
that.
a deer caught in headlights type of scenario comes to mind.
Man, my wife's grandfather was deathly afraid of owls. I guess they found a dead one, and it happened to be somewhere that was on his land or something like that. And man, he was like 8 years old, and he ran off from what he knew of the owls. You know, he ran away, and then all his whole life, owls were, man, you didn't even talk to him about an owl. It freaked him out that bad.
Wow.
I mean, not even an owl feather. I mean, if you brought up owls, he was out. He was gone. He would get up and leave, even if you're just going to talk about it. You know, then
big time phobia.
I had no idea though about the alien owl connection. That's a trip. I'm gonna tell my wife about it. She'll trip out.
Foul phobia. There you go.
Yeah, wow. And then like one of my friends, I think he just posted on Facebook yesterday. He's a chief, or was. He's not anymore. He's older though, and one of our friends, and it was his cousin. He passed away, and he was 91. But they actually found a dead owl on the friend's property. And then yesterday, and that was like 3 weeks ago or something, and Clarence, who was 91, passed away. He was a Native American. And then they found, he said a hawk landed. He was looking out the window of his house, and a hawk landed just outside, and it stayed on the ground until dark, right in the same spot for about 30 minutes, and then it got dark and it left. And the owl, or the hawk, is supposed to bring news, and it could be bad news or good news, but it's supposed to bring news, right? So he thought it was he was tripping because it was there for 30 minutes. You know, usually a hawk won't be on the ground that long,
right?
You know, but it stayed on the ground, and I mean, you just blew me away with your owl connection. You know, I've heard all these stories all my life, and then you said that. I'm shocked. That tripped me out. Never heard that.
Right. My goodness.
Right on.
Crazy stuff. But
yeah.
vanishings always kind of are just, I don't know, so bizarre to me. It's like so out of my realm of knowing. I mean, it's just like you really have to take the word of, you know, what others have witnessed or seen when it comes to something like that. It's kind of hard to investigate. just
Yeah.
so wild when I don't know. But the whole owl shape-shifting type of potential of creatures and bringing bad luck and stuff, I think that's been around for just centuries upon centuries. And it's like, where does that come from? That people have that knowledge of, beware of this, beware of that, and don't let a cat cross your path. And, where'd it come from?
Right.
But there had to be some roots to it and something that was proved to be correct, that people keep up with that.
Man, you're right about that. That's interesting. That really is interesting.
Yeah, it's like bizarre. But I don't know if we have time to do one quick odd advice.
Sure do. Go for it.
We do?
Yep.
Okay, all right, I'll do it. All
Boy,
right,
love
so
odd
again,
advice.
guys, if you have had something odd happen and you want to share your story, pictures, feel free to write me at oddadvice@gmail.com, and we will put it on the show. All right, this one says, Dear Heidi, I have your Hat Man book, and I've heard you on various radio shows. A few months ago, my now wife, but girlfriend, came up from the basement as white as a sheet. She said she saw a shadow of a man walk across her rec room in the basement. I asked her if he had a large hat, and she was shocked that I would even ask that. She had seen the Hat Man walk from the left wall to the right wall. He did not look at her or acknowledge her. I'm going to guess he was coming from the neighbor's house, as the next-door neighbor died a day before. There seems to be a lot of paranormal activity at her house. I just wanted to let you know that the Hat Man is real. I've spoken to a few friends about shadow people, and I am really surprised how many people have experienced this phenomenon, usually at night at the foot of the bed. I want to wish you all the best and let you know the Hat Man visits, Mississauga, Ontario on occasion. Regards, Peter. P.S. Do you think he will show up again? From what I've researched, I don't think so. So, did I say that right? Mississauga, Ontario. I don't know. That's kind of like Mississippi, but with the "uga" at the end.
Cool.
But wow, Peter, that's wild. It's neat that you got a chance to associate it having to do potentially with a death next door. But one can never tell exactly, why he comes by. It does seem like he was passing by. It's a good thing he didn't acknowledge you guys because, maybe he just got caught. Maybe he was kind of making sure he scraped up the last little crumbs of the soul of the neighbor that passed away. So fingers crossed he does not come back to you again. But, that had to be a freaky thing for your poor girlfriend, now wife, for you to say, did he have a hat on? I like doing that to people because they're like, I've seen a shadow person, Heidi. I'm like, really? Did he have a hat? What? How'd you know? It's like,
what?
It's like, I'm psychic. I like to pull that one, even though I'm not psychic.
Right.
But thanks for sharing, Peter. That's a wild one.
That one
that's
is.
A wild one.
That's wild.
Yeah. It's crazy, Hat Man doesn't always, point his attention towards who spots him. I don't think he always prefers to be spotted, maybe, he had his backside was being exposed, a little bit there, and he didn't have his blockers up, and she caught him,
Yep.
That's all I'm guessing. Never know with that creep.
Nope.
Ooh, gosh. You know what, I've really been kind of putting it out there. I'm just like I feel like an all-out war against him and shadow people, minions guys, I mean, I'm done. I'm so done. I'm so sick of hearing of the Hat Man and his minions wandering and terrorizing, especially the children. I mean, everybody, let's pull it out. Let's just get whatever it is that we have in ourselves to fight evil and just be like, don't be shy to talk about it. Let's just talk about it, put it out there. And, an enemy is approaching. And how do you let the innocent defend themselves is by allowing them the knowledge of knowing that an enemy is approaching. So we're going to start talking about this more. And I call my first book The Secret War. Well, let's not make it a secret any longer. There's a war going on, people.
Yeah.
Toss it up.
The guy said that they thought it might be because of the death, so it would be the spirit of the neighbor, and they're more accepting of that, right? So they would accept that and allow it. is, I mean, I just had, believe it or not, I just had a conversation with my wife last night about the Hat Man guy. She was talking to her sister, and they were seeing a Hat Man, and they thought, when they were telling their mom about it, the mom said, "Oh, that was Grandpa such and such. He wore this hat like that." And he's an Indian guy, you know, and they remember the flat brim round hat they would wear. Well, you know, and a trench coat or a long coat. And, you know, she was on the phone talking to her other sister, telling her sister about it. And when she hung up, you know, I'm like, how do you know it was your great grandpa or whatever, you know, whoever they said? And she's like, well, you know, my mom said that's what he dressed like. And I said, well, then how do you account for the hundreds of thousands of other people that see the same thing? Does he go visit them? You know, and then my wife was totally freaked, like, oh my God, you know. That doesn't explain it, because me and her have talked about the Hat Man, and she never associated that Hat Man with the one in your book that we read.
Right.
And I mean, she never really made the association. You know, when I alerted her to it, now I know they're burning the phone lines up. You know, talking to the mom and the sisters and everybody, like, hey, this guy, it can't be the grandpa or whatever. Right. Because everybody's seen him. He doesn't visit everyone. You know, why would he?
Right. You know, it's I could see how some people can be confused sometimes and think, oh, well, Grandpa did have a hat similar to that. And it's like, did Grandpa give you chills? You know, did he come like a creep in the night and stare at you at the foot of your bed? You know, did he come uninvited? You know, did you feel all warm and fuzzy when you saw the guy with the hat? You know, you got to kind of associate, you know, different things and feelings and aromas to, you know, the phenomena of this thing. And was anybody sick? Was there an accident about to happen? Did somebody pass away? You know, were you guys arguing? You know, was there static in the air? There's so many elements that go to know if it was him or not.
So,
you know?
so saying that, then, when people say, you know, like you said, my grandfather was here, or my son who had recently passed, I felt his presence here. So, are we to say then, every encounter people encounter and they think it's their loved ones, then it's not?
Not every encounter, no. That's why I think a filter has to be applied to know and to feel with your other senses, not just your eyeballs, you know, like kind of look like them. Or I think sometimes people try to fit a puzzle where it doesn't, a piece of a puzzle where it doesn't quite fit. You know, they hope it was so-and-so versus what it actually was.
They want to believe
a lot of people
that.
feel spiritually screwed after they see this guy,
Right.
which I understand, which is not the case, just so you guys know. It's a process of elimination. It's like I think we run on emotion sometimes in hopes that, you know, our loved ones, past loved ones had come by. But I think the Hat Man kind of plays upon that too, because then you let your guard down, like, it's Grandpa, come on,
Right.
Come on, it's dead, Grandpa. Oh gosh, it's not Grandpa.
I actually agree with you on that. I think all of them are, except for maybe like the only one that I might let slide a little would be the grandpa passed. You didn't know it, and you know, in the same hour of him passing, or you know, or whoever it was, you feel their presence for then, right? In that same hour. After that, if it's 3 months later or something like that, it is not the grandpa. You know what I'm saying? It's somebody coming to trick you and then try to get in there and get their little hooks into you and then try to hang out.
Okay.
Well, you know, I believe there's a difference between a ghost and a spirit. I think sometimes spirits can stop by. I think if somebody is in true need, like they just want a sign, maybe they agreed with Grandpa, give us a sign you're okay, you know, or they smell. You know what I love is like when they say, I smelled his cologne, and then I saw him. It's like, now that's a spirit. That's not a ghost, you know. And
Yeah,
then
but how do you know,
it's
though?
comforting. It's a comforting feeling. That's the difference. That's so cool. I love hearing that.
I still think it's not. Only
Really?
because
Oh gosh.
only because these things they're immortal, right? They don't die where they're at. So they probably hung out with your relative, and they know everything about them, and they know everything about you because they've been around. You know what I mean? And
Oh, so you think they're imitating fully? Gotcha.
right, yeah, and I mean that's how they get accepted. You know what I mean? They'll start
I see where you're
off
coming
like
from.
it'll
Well,
like
we got
start
opposing
off.
views on this. All right.
Yeah, well, I mean, it'll start off real cool and everything, and then later on, then all of a sudden other things start happening, and then you start seeing the glimpses of the real deal, but only you didn't know that you let it in when it was, smelling and looking like it. Like in the Bible, it calls it familiar spirits. It'll do something familiar to you that you'll accept.
I see what you're talking about. You know where I've seen that a lot? People that toy with Ouija boards and yes, it's Grandma. Grandma, I'm so happy you're here. And oh gosh, it's not Grandma. I see what you're talking about, and you do have to discern. That's for sure. It seems like when I've heard of like spirits coming to visit, it seems like there's light around the spirit. Light, not a dark, shadowy kind of look like Grandpa, but a light. People say they see a ray of light, and they saw their mother's face, and she smiled and was gone. I guess I kind of more discern light with positivity, because I think that the darkness has some issues with light. But I don't know. That's kind of my perspective. But I get where you're talking about for sure with that. How they can confuse people, and they do get, oh, it's a little girl goes, oh, she's so cute, oh, she's messing up the drawers, it's okay, and it is not a little girl goat. So I know what you're speaking of for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've run into it a lot. And, and then have had to deal with something really nasty when you finally like shed light on the subject, or when you reveal to the people what really is going on, and then it's like a light comes on in their head, like, whoa. Soon as the truth comes out, all of a sudden this little nice thing that's been hanging around Grandma or whoever they are, all of a sudden they are not. And then things start flying, serious cupboards and bookshelves, and things start happening like crazy, and then you really have something to deal with. But it all started out really nice, and even the light, you have to be careful, because these things were light at one time. I mean, that was what they were created to be, like that. They gave up that to come to be here, So I mean, it doesn't mean they can't still look like that when they want to. So I mean, you have to really, really. For me, it's like, unless you can prove it exactly, then I lean more towards that it's not.
It's best to be safe than sorry. That's for sure. I get what you're saying. What I don't understand is why people feel they have to accept these ghosts.
Me either.
Let
let me ask you this:
weird.
Have you seen the I think it's the 21st? Me and Jeff were just talking about this. They're gonna have what is it? A contact day, and on this one day, there's going to be places everybody can gather to have contact with aliens, or something. And I'm telling Jeff, I'm like, do they really know do they know them? You know what I mean? Do they really know, or are they just like the girl in Independence Day that's going to go up and welcome them, with the sign and everything on top of the building, and all of a sudden, the thing opens up and boom, blows them up. Even though the contact that they've been getting is saying, we're coming to save the world because you're tearing it all up, and they could tell you anything. And then we're accepting
I like to tell people to go sky watching with me. I said, because we need a sacrifice, kind of like the King Kong movies. I mean, I tell people be very leery. The UFOs that will respond to you, if you're calling for help, come down, come heal me, the ones that will respond are the equivalent of something demonic.
Yeah.
So why would you call them in? You know,
Right.
it's just so like, wow, what are you thinking? I don't know.
That's
It's
almost
just-
like playing with the Ouija board.
Yeah. It's just so funny. It's so funny. They need to start passing out those foil caps.
Yeah.
We're gonna get some made. Sell them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about that, and we'd autograph them and
Yeah.
sell them. Yeah.
There you
You
go.
never know.
I'm
you
gonna
have
want to
it.
do pirate ones, you know.
A pirate one?
Oh, my goodness.
It's gonna have some fun.
People are funny and fun, but people, no matter what, when you tap into the paranormal, no matter what it is, you have got to protect yourself and be alert, because you may be the sacrifice for all you know. Just
Right.
That's the same way as I feel about Bigfoots. You
Yeah.
know, there's all these people that are all nice and all this stuff. I mean, even though there is stories, like I put a story on my Facebook about the Indian who found an 8-foot black one, you know, all black fur, and it had a broken leg, and they took it. I mean, this is a long time ago, in like the 1700s or something, and maybe even before that, and they put him in the canoe, took him back to the you know, longhouse that they were in, and then it took like 16 of them to hold him down while 4 of them pulled on the leg and set it.
wow.
And then it didn't trust them. They tried to feed it. It wouldn't eat for like 2 weeks. Finally, it was trusting him. It ate. It started getting better, and then they got him up and walking, and then one day they pulled off the splints, and the fastest runner in the tribe smiled at it and took off running, and then it ran like the wind, right? They never saw anything move like that fast. And then they said, okay, time to go, you know, and they put it in the canoe and took it back to the edge of the mountain where they found it. And then for a month, they had food brought and dropped every morning. They would wake up and there would be an elk, a deer, geese, ducks, but everything had its neck broken. And it would be fresh food that it brought, you know, for a whole month after.
Wow.
But only these things, who knows? You know what I mean? Like when you're out there wandering around, are you know, it didn't trust them for how long before it ate?
Right.
Right.
You know, so it's not going to trust you, you know, when you're out walking around with a big gun.
Yeah,
or,
Bigfoot's got to eat too.
yeah, you know, and it probably sees what we do. I mean, they go out there, they see us, you know, they're not dumb.
Yeah.
They know we're
I
not
would just suggest you guys don't walk around with any steak seasoning in your pocket.
really honestly. Well, our friends, we put bacon on them. You know, give them a bacon
I might
necklace.
sprinkle it on you guys before
Robert
he
Scott.
gobbles you down. Like great seasoning bags, guys.
Right on, Heidi. Anything else?
I know that's my report for this
Okay.
evening. And again, I welcome you guys to write me, and I appreciate the stories. And wow, this is a fun one, the vanishing folks.
Yeah,
I
give
think
them
that was just
give them
cool
the
topic.
address one more time.
What's that?
Give them the address for them to contact.
Oh, the address, oddadvicehh@gmail.com, and you can also visit HeidiHollis.com, and you will find links and to my emails there as well. So, yeah, so having so much fun. I mean, my goodness, when do we get to do this full time, by the way, guys? I mean, come
Yeah, I
on.
wish.
Let's do it.
One of these days. One of these days.
We're working on
Right.
it.
It's happening.
So one of these days.
Cool.
So,
It's always a pleasure, guys.
thank you, Heidi.
Yeah, Heidi.
All right,
All right,
we'll talk
have
to
a
you.
good
We'll
one.
talk to
Try
you next
stay
Sunday.
warm, okay?
Oh, gosh, yeah, I'll try.
Chicago.
Okay.
All right,
Good
see
night,
ya.
guys.
Okay, see ya. Bye.
I was noticing it's like 30 below.
30 below over there.
Yeah, minus 30 at night.
Yeah, that's why I'm in California.
Me too.
All right, we have about 34 minutes left. You want to get up and walk around?
Yeah, I do. I have to take some pills.
Okay, go for it. Go ahead,
meds
get up and walk
whatever.
around. What I'm going to do is, a couple of weeks ago, and I think when Mickey was here, I was talking about the photographs of the footprint of the Bigfoot that Joe got.
Oh, that was
Okay.
such a good footprint.
But when I was placing them on the screen and Mickey was looking at them, it was not going over the air. I didn't do it right. So everybody's going, were you going to show those footprints again?
When that was after I put the shows on Facebook or YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, there was a bunch of comments that said, "What? We're not good enough to see the pictures."
Yeah.
So
See what happened,
I
you
wonder
guys?
what they were talking
Yeah,
about.
well, what happened is usually when you're sitting there, you have the iPad.
Yeah, and then I know.
And you
if it
know
goes
if
up
they're
or
on there. So that's why I just assumed that they were they came over the air, and they didn't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you those photographs.
Sweet. Well, I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. So that way, because it was not my intention to not show you guys. Obviously, I want to show you. These are awesome.
They are awesome.
Okay.
Those are the best. I mean, this is on the valley floor too.
Yeah, this is the valley
Not in the
floor. Okay,
mountains.
you guys. All right. So this was 2 weeks ago when I was talking to you about the location where these many Bigfoots, we're talking about 4 or 5, I want to say invaded this guy's mobile home down on the valley floor. And what I'm going to show you is, before I show you the casts that were made, I'm going to show you the actual footprint first. All right, you guys? All right, let me go to there. Let me go to there. And I'm just going to go to the full screen. All right. And there he is right there. I'm going to blow it up a little bit more. I'm going to blow it up more. Take it there to there. And you guys should be looking at it right now. There are the toes right here. Which this black pipe, what that is that's a water irrigation pipe that runs in between the tangerine trees. So it stepped right on it. Okay, I measured it. Well, not this actual footprint per se, but the actual cast that was made, and it was 18 inches. All right, I mean, the actual toes are so. I mean, you can see those. Look at those. I'm gonna just zoom in on that. Oops, I'm sorry. Bring them down right there. I mean, that is just way freaking cool. This is on the valley floor. I'm going to give you guys a hint where this is at if you guys are watching us right now or listening to us here. And I've said this again. I've kind of known about this for a long time, but we just never had the proof. All right. And now we are having people call us stating there are Bigfoots on the valley floor. And I'm just going to give you a hint of the locations right around Avocado Lake. Okay, so you guys can go and Google Avocado Lake, California, and that will tell you where we are getting many reports of Bigfoots. And it's because of the produce, the fruits that are now ripe and are like tangerines, grapefruits, oranges. All right, we have a lot of those in that area, plus an abundance of fish in Avocado Lake and the Kings River. Matter of fact, we got a call, and that's where I was last week, Saturday, when I got sick. I got a call, very close proximity of Avocado Lake. We went and visited the family. Emerald and I did, and that was the day before I got sick. That guy is just so weird, you guys. I tell you. I started getting sick inside the house, and I felt it coming on. I was fine the day before, the day of, and then we're sitting down. Emerald and I are sitting down, and they brought us some water, and I was getting sick, and I felt it. I'm going, whoa, where is this coming from? So it was just a weird. I've never gotten that sick before ever in my life, but. Here is the footprint that we're talking about. All right. Now, what I'm going to show you next is just the cast. A cast was made. That is my skinny ass foot there. All right. Oh, you don't see it. Hold on. Let me bring it down so you can see it. There you go. Let me bring that down here. That is my foot placed on the cast. All right. So obviously that is a right foot of the cast, and that's my. If it was turned the other way around, then that would be the right way of it. But they're just showing you how fat that foot was compared to mine. And granted, mine's a skinny foot though. Let me take you to another one. That is just my hand. I'm showing you my hand pressed up against the actual foot itself, or the cast. And then this is the guy Joe, who casted it. We took out his face because he didn't want to be seen. But that is, I guess, maybe the day after he took it, or the day of he took the cast. And the reason why this is broken right here in the middle, because that's where the irrigation pipe was. And when it placed its foot on the pipe, obviously its impression in the middle didn't quite make it all the way into the dirt because of the irrigation tubing. Now, when I went by myself to talk to Joe, I walked out in the orange and the tangerine trees across this place, and I found something. And is this a footprint? I'm not sure. So I took a picture of it anyways. It didn't look like a boot print. It was sort of kind of, I mean, I see maybe toes up here, like when it was walking. I don't know. I just thought this was a weird print, so I took a photograph of it. That's my actual boot, because I came after work, and I was wearing my work boots. And that's like a 11 and a half, 12 foot boot that I'm wearing right there. Okay, a work boot. Not steel toe, but it's a work boot.
12 inch.
Huh?
12 inch.
12 inch, yeah. So, and that's, see, and if that was a regular footprint of a person, that's awfully big. So is that an actual Bigfoot print? I don't know. But I took a picture because it was awfully large compared to other prints that were out there from tennis shoes and regular boots and Joe's foot. They did not even compare to this. All right. And obviously, there's no way you can cast something like this because you can't. So I took a picture of it. And this one, I took a picture of. All right. I did this one. So.
It looks like toes.
That's what I'm looking at too. I'm going, did I actually find one out of that, the acres and acres that I was out there by myself and Joe wasn't there and I was walking around and I said, what the hell is this? Did I find one? And I'm going, the odds of me finding one out there is like,
See, like for, I track stuff all the time. Ever since I was a little kid, they taught me how to track. It looks like it was booking.
Yes, and you see how it pushed the dirt to the left?
Yeah, and grabbed with its toes.
Oh, didn't think
and
about
bunched
that.
up some dirt right under its toes. And it looks like it was turning.
Yeah, I mean, you see the dirt to the left? It pressed it, and it walked, was running, or I don't think it was walking fast. I think it was running. So I again, am I going to say that's an actual footprint? And I don't know. I took a picture of it because it looked like it to me.
Yeah, you have. He says you have hobbit feet.
I have hobbit feet?
Yeah.
What do you mean hobbit feet?
I'm just reading chat,
What the heck, hobbit feet? Okay. So let me see if there's any more pictures on
that
there.
is an interesting picture. I didn't see that one.
That one. No. Okay, we're good. All right, we're going to go back to camera. We're got a camera there. So, all right, cool. So, all right, we got 24 minutes left.
Maybe I should turn that computer around so we can see.
You're probably going to have, well, at the time, well, shoot.
I'll just turn it around. Can you see it?
Probably not because I'm blind as a bat.
Okay.
You know what? When it's time, like 5-7 minutes till, you'll probably just have to get up and go over there.
All right.
And then we'll just do that. So.
And then I'll be like M.
Can't see him. So, you know what we'll do next time is we'll hook up an external monitor to that and bring a monitor just over here.
Oh, that's a good idea.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Okay, we'll do that next time.
That's a good idea.
That's easy. All right. So, So there you go. All right.
I feel rejuvenated.
Drugs. Drugs and a smoke. That'll
Man,
always go.
I had a allergic reaction to the antibiotics. Oh. Man, dude. Oh. Yeah. And they were telling me you have to keep taking them, so take Benadryl with them. And man, I was tore up because I was allergic and I couldn't stop taking them. Oh man, whatever you do, don't do that.
Right. So, remember March the 7th and 8th. Put that on your calendar. We'll be at the Tulare Sci-Fi Con on the 7th and 8th.
And I'm looking forward to that. All you guys show up. That's
Yeah, show
anywhere
up.
near there.
Yeah, show up and hang out and talk and.
Yeah, I mean, really.
And if anybody has any cool photographs that you want to show us, that would be the time to bring them.
Man, I got one, and I was going to bring it, and I forgot. I was sent a message, Facebook message, and they had went to spend the night in a haunted hotel. And when they got to the door, the husband took a picture of the wife, and there was a weird orb, like a real light orb coming off, coming from under her arm, and you could see where it moved, and the picture was crystal clear. But I'll bring it next week so we can look at it. But it was really interesting, especially when you know it was a haunted hotel.
I have a photograph that I've never actually talked about on the air. It actually doesn't belong to me. It belongs to my mom. I've had it for a while, and then I gave it back to her because I didn't want to lose it. Back when my grandma was alive, my grandma, coming from Mexico, very religious, all right, every Christmas, she used to, in her garage in Sanger, used to put together prayers on Christmas Eve. And everybody who knew my grandma, she was the type of person, and all you Spanish-speaking Mexican people out there who could validate this, that, we have grandmothers that when you're sick, they'll get the egg out and they'll put the egg around you and do the blessings and then break the egg and all. Okay, that's the type of person my grandma was. Okay, and when people wanted to get blessed or they felt that there were some evil spirits in them, they would go see my grandma. So a lot of the Spanish-speaking side knew my grandma. Okay, and every Christmas Eve, all the Spanish-speaking people would come over, and my grandma used to collect just all kinds of, when they have, at the manger, when they have the three wise men, and they have all kinds of statues and all the people coming to the, that's how my grandma had it in her garage, a big old thing. And they used to, my grandma used to have clothing, costumes where people would dress up like the three wise men, the little drummer boy. I would dress up like the little drummer boy, all right, with a drum and all that. And people would just dress up and they would stroll into the garage and play the part, right? Now, I don't know when this photograph was taken, but it was taken on a 35 millimeter paper, okay? Somebody took a photograph there on the property, and it had, the guys who dressed up as the three wise men and all that. And it was like maybe 5 or 6 people, right, in costume getup.
Nativity scene.
And that nativity scene, yeah. And somebody took a photograph, and on this photograph, this head appeared right in the middle of this photograph where the three wise men are at, okay? And I'll have to bring it again. I actually want to use that particular photograph in an episode for TV. I want to have Mickey analyze it. Obviously, it's not fake because it's still on 35. It's on 35 millimeter paper. That's how old we're talking. 60s.
See, I want Mickey to do the one I want him to look at the one I have too.
Okay. And there's a picture of a face on there, and it sort of kind of looks like Jesus. Ooh. Okay. And to this day, my mom still has it. I took it from her to see if I could get it analyzed, and I never could find the right person. At the time, we didn't know who Mickey was. And now, since we know who Mickey is, I want to bring it in, and I want to take the camera crew with him, and to photocopy it, not photocopy it, but to scan it into this computer system and see if he can clean it up and bring it out, because there is no way an old camera.
No.
Okay, you follow me?
Right.
And the picture is the picture. The head is it's small, compared. It showed up like about right here, type of deal, and to this day my mom still has it. She has it in her room next to some candles and stuff, and something like that you cannot Photoshop. We're talking.
Well, nobody in your grandma and stuff like that couldn't do it.
No, and back then we didn't have computers.
Right.
60s, that there was no such thing. It's on that type of old 35 millimeter, 3x5. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and there's a picture of a face right on there.
Wow.
Okay, and so I want to bring that in, and I want to have Mickey analyze it, and bring in the production crew, and go to his house or go to his business or whatever, because that's genuine, you guys. All right. Is it the picture of the devil on there? I don't know. Is it it's obviously somebody's photograph, and there's no way that I think it could have got super exposed or anything like that. It's just a face appeared where it shouldn't have. And now, since we're at the point where we can do something about it, I am going to do something about it. So I just wanted to throw that out there, because there are things that have happened to me in the past that I think are paranormal. Another thing, and as a matter of fact, I have it still. I saved it. This, you guys, the odds of this actually happening, I don't know. But I swear to God, this happened, and I actually saved it. When I was going to college in the City of Industry in L.A., and this was probably 1985, 86, 87, right around there. I was a assistant manager for the bookstore at DeVry. And there would be times where I would have to drive to a bank to get change, rolls of coins, right? And I went down to the City of Industry to a bank in a building, and where we get our change and all that. And, I brought back the change, and I opened up the change box, and I'm getting coins, the rolls of coins out. And I noticed, I think it's a nickels roll out, and as I grabbed it, I noticed the writing on there, V. Gonzalez. It was my mom's name on the roll of nickels. And I'm going, what? Okay, she lives here in Sanger, and I'm in L.A., and all of a sudden I intercepted a roll of her nickels, and her name is on there. That's her, Vicky Gonzalez. And I went, whoa, and I called her, and I told her what I found, and, at that time, she's just, oh, cool, but think about the odds of you finding something like that, that it actually belonged to my mom. My mom was the one who put the coins, and somehow it got to the City of Industry, where I actually got them, and I saved the roll, and I have it upstairs. I'll bring it, and I'll show it to you guys.
And it's her handwriting.
Oh yeah, it's her handwriting.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's paranormal.
Is that weird? Or is that, the odds of that happening? It just, okay. So, yeah. So, and I have, like I said, I kept it, and I've always had it in my wallet, and I've had it now going on since 86, almost 30 years. Is that right? Yeah. I've had that for 30 years because I've saved it, because I wow. Okay. And that just blew me away when I found that. So I've kept it, and I'll grab it. I have it upstairs, and I'll grab it, and I'll bring it down, and I'll show it to you guys. What I'll do is I'll take a snapshot of it, and then I'll put it on the screen so you can see it. It's just going to show you my mom's name on there in her handwriting. But man, the odds of that happening is like a freaking trillion, billion, million, trillion to one.
Yeah, it's
you know what I'm
high.
saying? You know, it's high.
number.
It's way, way high. So I just found that really cool. That's just another cool thing that that happened to me that I wanted to share with you guys.
I actually thought that would be a good show. That, you know, not our stories so much as like the audience story. You know, I bet
Weird stuff happening to them.
yeah, like we'll just do
The odds are just outrageously high for that to ever happen. Was it a coincidence that I got the roll of nickels from my mom? You know, was my mom thinking about me out there being by myself, going to college, and all of a sudden I get this roll of nickels? You know, stuff like that. You know, I don't know.
Well, yeah, I bet there's stories like that out there.
Oh, you bet you there is.
And I mean, I want to hear. I would love to hear those stories. I mean, I love that stuff.
Especially if you have stuff to back it up with.
Right. Yeah.
You know, a
Something you
story,
can
a
look
good,
at.
yeah, a good story is a good story, yeah. But you know, the picture that I have, I will get it from my mom. What we'll do is I'll go down there this week, and I'll grab it and I'll bring it up and I'll show it to you guys here next Sunday. The picture with the of Jesus possibly on there.
Yeah, that one's a trip too.
Yeah, and obviously I'll show you the roll of nickels with my mom's name on it. But yeah, you know what? We ought to have a show here on Paranormal Central where you guys can call in, and if you guys have anything.
Well, I want it to be like pre-set up a little bit.
Sure. Well, okay. Well, what we ought to do is have them fill out the form at Paranormal Central, what your story is, and if you have a picture of that you took that has your mom in it, or that she's passed away, and all of a sudden your mom shows up, or anything like that.
Something they could scan in, or they already have on the computer.
That you can send us. Yeah, that you can send us a copy of it through email. And that way we can go ahead, and you guys, come on, don't go and start photoshopping stuff, and you know that's
no,
not.
because we'll have it checked out. I mean, it's gonna, like I said, pre-set up.
Oh, okay.
We'll
so
have Mickey check them out.
Okay.
You know, and look at them.
Okay.
And we'll weed out the phony baloney stuff. You know, and we for how many people that's listening, we can't do every one, so we'll probably pick out the very best ones.
Right.
You know?
Right. And save the others. I mean, you know, we might definitely
do more
save the
than one
others.
show on.
Oh
it,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. And if it's that good and it passes the lie detector test through Mickey, we might even include it into the TV show as well. If it's okay with you, we'll ask your permission. And if it's that good, and we're like just, oh my God, then you know what? We will have you on the TV show and bring you in, sit down on the couch, and if you live close by, you know, it's hard. You know, if you want to travel, if you're around California someplace, then we say, you know what, you have a great story here. We want to talk about it on TV. And if you're willing to drive down here, you know, I might give you some money for gas and if, you know, get you down here and we'll do an episode of weird stuff like that. Because I think that stuff, it's like people want to see that.
I'm sure of it. I mean, that nobody does that either.
No.
And there's all these stories everybody grows up with, or they had something happen to them,
Right.
and they have evidence of it.
Right.
But only none of us know. No, you know, your family knows and your friends know, but nobody else knows. And it would be cool to share these things.
Yeah.
And I mean, almost everybody has something like that. You know, that they
Absolutely.
can share. I mean, almost everybody. I mean, even like what comes to mind is the Polyacs and Danny. You know,
Right.
they take the picture in that boat, and then down on the end is there's a ghost, you know, and they got it.
Right.
Know? I mean, that was excellent.
Wow.
It was a great picture.
Right.
And we've had that on our show and talked to them about it
Right.
and stuff. But that's good, and I think everybody has that. And I'd love to set something up like this. You know?
Well, let's start working on that then, because you know we're starting to film episodes for TV, and in every episode, I would definitely like to have a segment where this is from a fan somewhere around the world or wherever, and you know, sent us this picture, and it's been analyzed through Mickey. Mickey says yes, it's real. depending if we can get, if we can get the actual. You see, that's going to be hard because if you have an actual photograph, obviously you're not going to want to depart with it, and you're not going to send it to us. So I don't think Mickey is going to able to actually, if it's scanned and sent it by email. I don't know if he can actually.
Yeah, I think so.
You think so?
Yeah, scanned. Like you could tell if it's a photograph and it was scanned.
Okay.
Long as he'll be able to tell.
Okay.
Because he's that good.
Okay.
Believe me, he's that good. Even if we don't know it's scanned, he'll tell us it was scanned.
It was scanned.
He's that good.
Okay. All right.
He is that good.
And especially if you still have the original on an SD card, or if you have a file and it came off an SD card from a digital camera and you have it on your computer. Excuse me. And if you send us a copy of that, it comes with records on it.
Yep.
Stating when it was taken, everything about it. Okay. And Mickey can take that and analyze it and see if it's real or not. So yeah,
he can do some amazing things.
So if you guys have anything that you guys want us to analyze, like a video or photograph, let us know, because we got the right person to analyze it, and that's Mickey. He is good at what he does. That's what he does for a living, man. He's a forensic person. That's what he does for a living. So, and again, if it's something that's going to blow our socks off, I want to see it. All right, and I would definitely want to include it in one of our episodes on TV.
We'll do it here, of course, too. But only if it's really good, it could go on the TV too.
It'll get on. We'll put it on TV as well if we think it's legit, especially if we know it's from somebody that we know, and you guys aren't going to pull a fast one on us. Then for sure. That's the stuff we live for here. The paranormal. Some weird stuff. I would love to see it. So
it's sad on the people that, like, in the Bigfoot world right now. How many pictures do you see? And there's a picture of like a forest section with 20 red circles on it, and I don't see nothing, just a bunch of red circles, and I don't know how many photographs I've seen like that, and now lately these videos of Bigfoot, and you can actually see, you can see it clearly, but you also could see clearly the person's wearing overalls or whatever. It's getting pretty bad. Everybody and their brother is trying to fake a Bigfoot and all this stuff.
Right.
It's ridiculous. In fact, it's so ridiculous. I almost took Where's Waldo and cut him out and made him really little, and then put it on a forest background with a bunch of red circles and hit him in there somewhere and say, "Where's Waldo?"
I can talk to Keith on my phone.
Yay! Like that. Sweet.
So okay. So just to let I don't know why I never even thought about this before, Keith, but I got the Skype up on my iPhone and I can talk to you right here. But duh. Okay, so cool. All right, so we got like about
technology.
5 or 6 minutes left, and we're gonna get out of here. And again, we appreciate you guys sticking around. I'm still getting over my cold. It wasn't even cold. It was just I don't know what it was, man. It was some scary stuff.
I bet you that a lot of our audience was sick with that. Man. That was the most nastiest. I didn't get it, but only I saw so many people with it.
Yeah.
That was like a nasty one. I went, my wife was she's not a conspiracy person,
right.
And she was even saying, "Man, that is like weird."
Yeah,
she was all worried about the measles.
Right.
Like you go in the hospital and you get the measles. In fact, I'm sorry, guys, that when I first went in and they gave me the antibiotic, it put dots on me like measles. And I put that on my Facebook. I made a post and said, that I broke out from an antibiotic and it looked like the measles.
Right.
Well, everybody thought I said
you had the measles.
I have the measles.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, I got inundated with Facebook messages. Man, you got the measles? Like, no, I didn't get the measles. Really, I didn't. I broke out from an antibiotic and got the measles. In fact, today I started a new antibiotic for what did I call that? Staph infection. I don't have a staph infection. I just came off of 3 different antibiotics, and now one last one to make a run just to make sure I don't get a staph infection, because the wound is still a little bit open. So taking that one, and as soon as I took it, like within 30 minutes, I was, my mouth was raw and my throat was scratchy and my ears were itching, and I noticed like these red spots on me, and I was like, oh man, I'm allergic. And it's another one that I have to like go ahead and take the Benadryl and continue with it, even though I'm allergic, because I don't want to get the staph infection.
Right.
You know, and they said it's a low dose too, but here I go, another 2 weeks of a med that I'm allergic to and having to suffer the allergic reaction.
Right.
It kind of sucks.
So, all right, we got a couple of minutes here, give or take, according to the people at the Dark Matter Network. I want to thank everybody for showing up wherever you may be. You know what? We're having a blast here, and I'm going to keep saying it because, we keep having a blast. It's just, hey, what can I say? So, every week we try to bring you some, news stories and better stories, and we're going to try to get better for you guys. I appreciate, according to our YouTube hits and live stream hits, we are through the roof right now. We have doubled.
Yeah.
Yes.
I actually got blasted because I was sick and I didn't get the shows and upload them to YouTube, man. I got blasted. Everybody was like, what happened? Where'd you go?
Did you die? Did the Men in Black intercept you or what?
Yeah. And, but only... It used to be that I brought my computer over and then I would take it home and then upload it. Well, now we have this super racehorse computer that stays. So after the show, I put it on a flash drive and then take it home and upload it
into YouTube.
Right. But I didn't have.
You're at home.
So I.
But we've actually doubled the amount of viewers now. Which just YouTube is sending Ellen freaking messages and saying, what the hell is going on over there?
I love it. I thank you guys so much, man. It's crazy. And then I'm not going to join a network, a YouTube network. Sorry, YouTube network guys that's listening. We're just going to stay like solo for a while and see what happens. But
Right. So, all right, you guys, we're just about out of here. I want to thank you guys for showing up. My name is Jeffrey Gonzalez with Ellen Thomas, and Emerald had to leave early. And, again, we're going to come back here next week. Don't forget, we're going to be at the Tulare Sci-Fi Con March the 7th and 8th. Go ahead. They have a website. Just Google it, Tulare Sci-Fi Con. We will be there, have a booth for 2 days. On Sunday, we're going to leave actually early so we can make it back here for the show. And if you guys want to show up, go ahead and show up, introduce yourselves, say, hey, I'm this on Facebook or that on Facebook. We have a like page at Paranormal Central. Just go to Facebook and type in Paranormal Central. I have a personal page at Jeffrey Gonzalez or Sanger Paranormal Society, and Alan has one as well. And it's Sasquatchin, I believe. Right?
Yep.
Okay.
Sasquatchin, Facebook.com/Sasquatchin.
So right on. So
come find me.
Yeah. So we're almost. I think I got about 100 or 200 left for 5,000, and that's all I can take. So you guys spread the word about us. The more people who know about us, then I think. And you know what? It's happening already. I think word of mouth. I mean, the live stream is just off the hook, and it's just crazy.
That number actually went from like
397 to 2,500 now, within a week.
Wow, man, that's a lot in a week.
So
that's pretty good.
Yep. So
I know we're at like 250 something thousand views on our videos in YouTube.
Right.
250,000.
So we're. Okay. All right, you guys. Appreciate it. You guys take care. Again, have a good day.
Someday we'll have a T-shirt.
Yeah. So, all right, you guys. We'll see you guys next week. For Jeffrey Gonzalez, Alan Thomas, and Emerald Belia, you guys have a great night. Keep your eyes to the skies, and I hope you witness something that you cannot explain. Good night,
everyone.
You have been listening to Paranormal Central with Jeffrey Gonzalez and Alan Thomas, broadcasting worldwide at paranormalcentral.net and on artbell.com. Stay tuned for next time. Remember to keep your eyes to the skies. And we hope you witness something you cannot explain.
Looking for you, you're looking for me. We have to decide what it will be. Can it be true? Can I believe?